Hey guys, this is David Spade and Dana Carvey, and before we get into Ben Stiller, we just wanted to share a few thoughts about the other night with the Will Smith Rock situation. Rock is obviously a buddy of ours. We had him on here a little bit ago, and we have a common denominator, which is being bullied growing up. I was a certified pipsqueak and always being pushed around, and it really hit a nerve with me and Dana. Also, and Rock had talked about it on this podcast. I could jokingly say that slap in the face was a real slap in the face for comedy. But it is true that on a serious note, this is a dangerous precedent. That was the straw that broke Will Smith's back. It couldn't have been a medium rough joke, just bad timing. It was like a Jack in the Box that you hear ding 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 ding, and here's Chris Rock. So that was just the one where he decided to flip, and not sure what Will's going through. I met him, seems like a decent enough guy. I'd love to see him in a roast. I mean, listen, comedy is rough. I just did a comedy special for Netflix, and there's some stuff in there that makes me laugh. People could get offended by. It's just the way it is. I hope roasts aren't outlawed soon. I mean, my God, I don't know. I just thought it dimmed some light on the other performers that night. You didn't really think about any other performer, anybody that won. It was just that. And they allowed him on stage again. I probably wouldn't have. Not a lot of defense of Chris right there and then at the show. Like other people, or people are standing up and giving Will a standing ovation like nothing happened. I thought that was all very odd. And I honestly just don't think he should have been able to go get his award. I hate to say it, but there's got to be some consequence, because you shouldn't be allowed to do that. Dana?
Well, first of all, I've seen real anger and experienced it. So the first thing I thought was I was triggered, because everyone talks about triggers, when I saw a very large person go full shithouse physical on a person who's not small, but much smaller. And that just like, whoa, viscerally just hit me. So I saw a bully. I was just taken back to my childhood. And, when I entered high school, I was 5 feet tall, 93 pounds. I looked like a fetus with shoes. But my point is...
Me too, dude.
I'm not a psychiatrist, but I played one on TV. But this was not about Chris Rock. It was not about the joke. Something else is going on, especially the second time Will said, keep my wife's name out of your fucking mouth. The energy and rage and anger of that was so extreme. So I don't really know, but mental health is a thing that I would just say needs help. Secondarily, where was security? Could anyone else have gotten away with that? It was very awkward. And then to give him a standing ovation, he had 45 minutes to kind of pull it together. He had Denzel Washington talking to him, other really smart people, Bradley Cooper, but he couldn't pull it together to apologize. Instead, sort of doubled down. I protect women. So
the word protect was heavy in there.
Yeah, I'm protecting. And then the next morning, he got that ring, ring. Hi, this is your publicist, Brian, and maybe we should talk, because then there was the apology. So I just looked at it as a bully. It triggered me, and I think it was kind of horrific and just felt bad. Chris is our friend and our colleague, and I don't want to see anybody slap like that at any time, on television especially, or anywhere. David?
Yeah, it's funny, Dana, when you get older, like us, we when we were bullied, and I know Rock was bullied as a kid, a little skinny kid, and he said it really stuck with him, and it does. It's the root of a lot of things. I get me mad. I have a short temper, and any bullying in a car cutting me off, or a guy, if I'm on a date, coming up to me and looking at me and going, okay, I could take this guy, and so I'll hit on this girl right in front of him. Those little forms of it are there all the time. Yeah. So when I saw that obvious, just walk up, hit him, and walk away, and almost like laughing, like, fuck you, what are you going to do about it? It made me spin out, like, oh my God. So it bothered me all night. I thought Chris is pretty cool about it, of course. But what do? Your mind's spinning. I'm on live TV, a billion people. What's happening? What do I go down? Do I hit him back? I couldn't even read the prompter after that. I'd probably be going, I got to get out of here. This is
Chris handled it perfectly. And well, I give him a lot of credit for keeping it together after something like that, you know?
I actually thought Will Smith would walk up if he was staying and he's joking around, laughing, which was sort of more crazy in my head, or more, that's not a good word, but it was just more unusual. And then when he got his award, I would have said, what the fuck was I doing with Chris Rock? That was nuts. Sorry.
Yeah, I thought that for sure.
The jokes got to me. How stupid. I'm going to go back and tell him right now, thank you for this award. Whatever. Any acknowledgement would have just taken all the pressure out and gone, it was nuts. We'll still talk about it. But hey, something else is going on clearly. And I'm sure Chris is your friend. Like, it was all tough to watch. So I don't have a ton to say about it other than what we just said. I mean, it'll all work out. Everyone will walk away, but definitely an odd moment in time.
You know, before that moment, of course, my relationship with Will Smith was just from afar as a very likable, positive person. So it's disturbing on so many levels. It gave everyone a relief from COVID and Ukraine, you know, so the whole culture has been rotated on this moment because it was so shocking. And I really just, I don't know. It's still going on because Chris hasn't spoken at this hour. Yeah.
I hope they make up. They seem to be. It seems they're friends, and like them to get back to that and have everyone live happily ever after. It's tough to live with that hanging over your head if you think someone's out there after you.
Hey, Lady Gaga, who's beautiful, but she's always working with really old people. Like, she gets next to Tony Bennett. She looks like a high school senior. Last night, they wheel out Liza Minnelli, poor sweet woman. And then Lady Gaga looks like she's in 8th grade. I don't know. It's a good
know.
move.
And Us Magazine immediately did who wore it better and who looked better. And that was unfair. Also, Dana, Regina, one of the hosts, beautiful, lovely woman. She did a bit that I have to say, as an observer, I'm for all forms of comedy, but if everyone else gets to complain, if it's a male host bringing the prettiest actresses up to analyze them and take them backstage
and grope them,
COVID test, then pat them down, it just wouldn't fly. I mean, I don't care. They're writing bits. Someone in the room should have gone, what if someone doesn't love this idea? But listen, fine. I just have to say it because I don't care. Just either let everyone do comedy in general, men, women, or just don't. But you can't say, you can't do this, you can do that. That's all. Mm-hmm. You agree?
Totally agree. It was really surprising. Maybe the Oscars are coming back now. If they have more fights, more politically incorrect things, and they go just ape shit, you know, maybe it'll become a huge winner again. I don't know. I mean, the only thing could have been bigger would be a melee. Chris fights back, and then you've got Nicole Kidman, who knows her way around the block. You've got Keith Urban coming up. Yeah. You've got Costner probably with a shotgun stopping the whole fight. Tyler Perry would have gotten in there. So
Joe Jonas is ripped. He would have come down. There's a lot of people that have been trained to do movies like that where they have training so they can come in and something. I mean, I don't know if Keanu was there. He needed to be. It must have been tough for Chris to sit in the back and realize literally nothing happened. No one walked up, no security, no stop the show, no. It was just like, on with the show, this is it.
Standing ovation for the
standing ovation. Yeah. You know, it's hard to pull for the bully. I don't know. Will Smith, probably a great guy. Just in that particular instance, it was the bad guy to me.
I've talked to people who grew up not bullied because they were bigger at a young age and so forth and so on. Or maybe their father didn't bully them. They're like, what?
Yeah,
what?
They don't get it.
They didn't get it. But that's what my takeaway was. But I wish everyone the best in the end of the day. So I'm not a negative Nancy.
No. We'll all land on our feet. All right, here's the show, squad. Dana, we've got Benjamin Stiller.
Ben Stiller. Yeah,
Ben Stiller, who's pretty much a superstar.
I would say, I would say if you add up everything he's done, by the time you get to the end, you can't even remember the whole amount. If you read his IMDb, you get exhausted. He's done it all.
You get exhausted. I mean, if you think of Night at the Museum, 1, 2, and 3, right there. That's over a couple of years to do 3 movies that are very long. Robin Williams is in it. All these great people in them. They all crushed. They all killed worldwide.
PG family movie, check. Three. You got to have an animated franchise. Madagascar, 1, 2, 3. How about doing a comedy with Robert De Niro? Meet the Parents, Meet the Fuckers.
1 and 2.
1,
That's right.
2,
yeah,
3.
Yeah.
Zoolander, 1, 2. I'm going to call him the franchise kid.
I mean, my gosh. It's unbelievable. And he's a cool dude. I saw him last year. I don't see him a lot, but I saw him last year at Sundance, which is it's a dance place I go to. So we went out there and people were hounding him. The guy, I think, he directs a lot now, but he's got a very interesting life. He did Saturday Night Live. He did it for how many shows?
5 shows.
5 shows.
Yeah.
And that's the riveting hook of why we get to talk to him, because we want to talk about that. And he's just a guy that's very cool, big star. Something About Mary was a monster. I mean, you don't even get to that one, and it's so big.
Dodgeball, all these big comedies.
Dodgeball, and he directs a lot. And he's got the new show Severance.
Which is cool, weird sci-fi. So yeah, all props to him. He's a very unassuming person and kind of shy. But we're going to tease him out on today's show.
Oh yeah, we'll flush him out of the brush.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. Is it mano a mano? Is it a fight? No, it's a conversation. But things will happen. Things will happen. But yeah, looking forward to talking to our friend Ben.
I'm already thinking of how I'm going to interrupt you during the show when you're asking very good questions.
Well, yeah, when I'm running out of steam, I should have a signal like, just please bail me out on this. Please interrupt me. I am winding down and I have no, it's hard.
Anyway, so Ben Stiller, I hope you're going to have a good time with him. An old school SNLer that spun it out into his own sketch show and won an Emmy for it. But he'll tell you all about it.
Yeah. Revenge of whatever. Yeah, he won the Emmy, beat out his old gang 2 years after
From
they
SNL.
bounced him.
That's such a crazy story.
Yes, crazy story.
I think there's a movie there. It's like a comeback movie, Tale of Vengeance. It's a bit of a Rocky theme.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, and he was a lightweight boxer. Yeah, he was. I think 82-7 as an amateur boxer, if I read that correctly. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'm super fly on the wall weight. Oh boy.
Yeah.
The jokes are getting worse.
Well, fly on the wall. Fly on the wall.
Fly.
Gotta fly. Don't blah, blah.
All right. Let's just get to Ben Stiller. These people are sick of us.
Ladies and gentlemen, we give you the one and only Ben Stiller.
Ben Stiller.
Yeah.
I'm okay if I gotta be. Oh shit, there's that guy.
Yeah.
Mr. Stiller.
Yeah.
If someone said to me, this is what I was going to start with. If someone said to me, Ben Stiller is probably the biggest, most successful comedic influence of his generation, the last 20 years, my answer, I wouldn't punch them in the face. Like I wouldn't have an argument with them. I wouldn't get mad. I would go,
It would make you go, okay. If they said Spade was, you'd go, no.
I was looking over your films and I was reading them out loud to my wife and she goes, man, he might be underrated. I mean, it's like, it's kind of crazy.
Underrated.
Or lucky. I'd say lucky.
Oh, yeah, mostly luck. Come on. Okay. I'm just going to get these out of the way real fast. Then we're going to get into Severance.
Right. Are these all the fucking monster movies?
Nah, I'm not going to go to existential questions. It's two Howards coming at you with coffee in them overlapping. So you jump. You can ask us questions too, Ben.
I will.
We're excited because you're here.
There's certain impressions I'm going to request, and we'll get to that later.
The last 40 minutes is about us.
Believe me, Eddie Munster. By the way, I just talked to Mike Myers about Eddie Munster on Sprockets, the very first Sprockets.
That was the first one, right?
Yeah. Incredible. Yeah. Okay, just real quick, commence blushing. Okay, Night of the Museum, 3 great movies. Meet the Parents, got 3 out of that. Then you do something.
Got 3 out of that.
No, but those are brilliant. Something
definitely in terms of ringing movies out of a concept. I'm definitely top of the heap. Yeah.
Night at the Museum, you had so many that you got to present history people. You got to like Joe Biden.
Then you do Tropic Thunder and Zoolander, Dodgeball, Starsky Hutch as broad characters. You do something about
Just to
Mary.
kill time.
My observation for you, Ben, which maybe you've never thought of before, it's very difficult in modern comedy. What you did was play these broad characters and then have a character that could travel as Ben Stiller in movie. That's all I got. I'm tapped out. David, you go. That's all I have for the day.
I like that analysis.
We'd like a 40-minute answer.
I think it was basically, it was basically doing what was there, coming at me. And I never really, look, when I was at my short time at SNL, I was so overwhelmed by the level of sketch comedy acting prowess that was there. I never ever was, I never considered myself to be good at that. I did like I loved sketch comedy. I liked to do it and try to do it. But I think I never felt like, I always felt like, okay, I'm kind of like trying it and I can kind of do it sometimes and it's fun to do, but I never considered myself, that wasn't like my wheelhouse really, even though I like to do it.
Well, it would have been curious because if say it was a government order that Ben Stiller has to do 100 episodes of Saturday Night Live, because I felt altered after about 80 episodes. It took me to I faked it in the beginning, You only did like 5 shows, right? So who could get relaxed?
It was so intense and overwhelming. You were there.
It's crazy.
It's funny that it was because it is, and then you do movies, which there's makeup, there's directing, directing is no easy task. There's so many pressures of just being in the movies and TV. And it is true that one hits you in sort of a different way where you get in there and you're just like hit around going, what the fuck is happening? You don't see it coming, even though you think you do.
Yeah, because of the whole process of the week leading up to the show and what it takes to get to the show and what it takes to get a sketch on the show. And then to really understand how to gear yourself to, and you were both really good at it, to, for that 11:30 show. Because the thing that always sort of was like this kind of crazy mind fuck for me was when you do that dress rehearsal, and the dress rehearsal would be like, all right, we nailed it. And the dress rehearsal was like, yeah, but we actually haven't done it for real at all yet because nobody saw that.
Yeah.
And then and it's worse on air and you go, God damn it.
Yeah.
You hate one dress goes too well. You always want, the idea was that the live show in the back of your head, if that voice is talking, it's saying, this is the best you've done it all week. This is, I'm actually doing it. It's going the best. It doesn't always happen, but I remember the intensity when we did Dustin Hoffman and Tom Cruise. And just, you're in the slats and the music's playing, and then it is kind of like they just push you, and all acting or it's all about getting it out of your own head.
Surreal.
But
it's
I go,
so surreal.
And then you're giving yourself a report card. Like, am I okay? Am I doing it too much? Where's Ben? I mean, I get it. It's just, it's a ridiculous concept, really. It's a torture.
Or that, and I'm sure you guys talk about it on this podcast all the time. The like that feeling right before you go on, and right before you get, have to go out the door, or just like the surreal nature of like your whole life wanting to be a part of SNL, and then you get there and then you're doing it, and then it's like, it's just crazy.
So
I don't know.
The voice in your head goes, I'm on SNL and I'm doing it. We had Julia Sweeney on, and she came in one show early and just watched the show. But she was so adept at doing sketch comedy, she said she wasn't nervous. She looked at it and said, oh, I can do that. But then she got nervous later. But initially it was like, la-di-da, just say your lines.
But did you guys get nervous doing it?
Oh, sick. Yeah. I mean, I wasn't, when I was there, I did the same thing as Julie did. I went there a week early and watched, and I had the other reaction of, I cannot do this. Like I was a stand-up. Now she's coming from an improv group. So she's used to quick changes. She's used to blah, 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 everything, jumping around in characters. And I'm watching it going, are you out of your mind and how fast it moves? And during the commercials, that's really all the time you have? I didn't really get that part. Like if it's 30 seconds, it's 30 seconds. Or they go to a fake graphic in the front. That's just to buy you some time. And then when I was doing my first update piece, I'm on the side. And it's such a little studio when I got there that I go, so when I walk 3 feet, 10 million people see me. And then I come back and it's just some stagehand chewing gum going, good job.
Good job.
And then they move the camera and look at the other guy and I go, is that it? Like, did anyone see it? That went out there?
Yeah, it actually happened. Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't have my phone. I'm not on a cell phone back then. So then hopefully somebody saw it somewhere and they tell you. But you just go the rest of the night and everyone's doing their thing.
My first sketch, I never did sketch comedy. I just did stand-up. My first sketch was a cold opening with Jan Hooks and Phil Hartman. And when I landed a laugh, my head wanted to turn toward the audience like a stand-up. But I go, keep looking at Phil. He's the host of the game show. So, but I could show you church chats early on where she's going like this. Her hand goes up and it's wet with sweat,
Sure.
But you were so good, but that's crazy that you never did sketch comedy at all before the show. I never knew that.
I was doing it as a stand-up, but didn't really know it. I didn't have any jokes. I've written maybe 2 jokes in my life. I was doing one-man sketch, but there was no theater group in SF at the time. Anyway, but
I do think that with you guys both coming from stand-up, that did at least prepare you in a way, because it's the live experience of going up in front of an audience, and I had some of that, but I didn't come out of stand up, and, there's the natural sort of thing of being in front of an audience. I'd done some theater, but that I always gravitated towards having more takes and doing it, what you do in a movie where you could just you could do it a number of times. That was really what, I felt more comfortable doing, which is why I went running away after a few weeks.
And won the Emmy for Best Television Sketch Show 2 years later.
Well, yeah. So but I mean, I was like looking at that environment going, oh man, this is really hard. I don't know if I will do well. And even when I, think back on the few things that I did there, I was so nervous. Even, Sprockets, that was his first Sprockets. And Mike was just so that was such a great sketch. That character, it was all so well formed. He was a great sketch writer right out of the box. And he was just so, he understood, I was doing whatever character I was doing. Eddie Munster wasn't even a character. It was just a guy in an Eddie Munster outfit.
Well, it was a very funny take on it.
Yeah,
the outfit was hysterical.
But, Dieter was such a perfect kind of SNL type character. Sure. He just understood the structure of it and everything instinctively.
Yeah, well, I get that. I mean, Mike did a lot of sketch comedy before he got SNL. That would be helpful, but still.
But Ben, did you do? Was it A Color of Money? Why would you do that? You did a video, and what did you do that for? Is that what they saw? Is that what Lauren saw? I liked it.
Yeah. I was doing a play off Broadway. And I saved up the money I'd made in the play to do this takeoff on The Color of Money with a couple of friends of mine. And we made this short, and I didn't know what to do with it, because I basically had made a short, but there was nowhere. Sure. It was pre everything, there was no
Funny
YouTube.
or Die, no nothing.
There was nothing. So it was sort of I had this 16 millimeter short that I made.
Useless.
And that was transferred to 3/4 inch tape. So I had this 3/4 inch tape I was taking around, and John Lovitz had come to the show that I was doing, the play called The House of Blue Leaves, and he had come backstage, and I reached out to him. I didn't even know him really. And I said, hey, I got this short. I'd love to try to get it to, somebody to see for the show. And he took it up to Lauren. He literally took the tape up to Lauren.
Oh, it's a VHS.
The romance of that. Yeah. When I hear about somebody, let's put on a show and financing, making a short film, and then having it go somewhere. Because imagine all the young people now putting stuff on YouTube. But the fact, and I did watch some of it this morning. It was absolutely hysterical. They make up on you.
It was all and it was all my friends and my parents and my grandfather. It was the whole cast of it was just people doing favors.
And the Tom Cruise impression and character was so potent and bizarre, and your look was so amazing. I mean, what it was? You must have laughed your ass off.
Youth. It was called Youth.
Well, Tom,
I was just hysterical. Doing it because we kind of had the idea for the movie. It was Steve Klayman, Ralph Howard, my two friends, and we had this idea, and it was who's going to do Cruise? Because we knew we had the idea, but and Steve actually did a cruise too, and I was oh well, maybe I should do Cruise, and then we had a cruise off, a little.
We should do the best part.
Well, what was your not to interrupt Ben, but what was your into Cruise? Usually it's one hook. You did it in the restaurant.
It was one thing. It was just sort of.
His
laugh, the high pitch.
But I see him in that. Yeah.
Smiles and looks around. Yeah.
But all you need is one thing, and that was it.
You take the one thing and then you transmogrify
until
it
no one knows what I'm doing.
So fascinated by that. Which I'd love to understand what your method is, because you talk about it sometimes.
I'm trying right now with Biden. I'm still trying to find.
Yeah,
hooks.
but your Biden is great. Where are you at with your Biden right now?
Well, I don't know. Well, the latest hook was that he yelled in the beginning. It was like, "Come on, here's the deal. My dad lost a job. No joke. Not kidding around here." That was, it was not a joke, and he said no joke. And then he makes lists. Number 1, the one part. Number 2, what the guy said. Number 3, you know the drill. Come on, it isn't rocket science, folks. And then once in a while,
saying nothing,
he gets mad. I'm not to do this. I can talk loud. Look at me go.
And he's finally had it.
Do it.
Right.
And then he whispers.
Yeah, you just.
No, but.
Yeah, no, please.
The whispers are really funny. The whispers when he comes down, you go, "What's going? Who's he talking to? Is there someone right by the podium?" It takes a while
to do someone, and also for the audience to get used to that person. Just little hooks later on. I know more about Biden's voice now than I did 6 months ago. But anyway,
I think it's your comedic hooks into the characters. To me, are always like what you choose to focus on is what makes it so funny, because it's like something nobody else would think, and then you're like, oh my god, yes, that's exactly what he does.
That's the hard part. And when when you do it, Dana, and then someone like George Bush, like back in the day when there's only 4 channels on SNL that all the presidents are aware, and then they almost do what you're doing because that's what they're supposed to be doing. It's such a weird thing that happens.
I wanted to learn Michael Caine because of, was it Steve Coogan? Yeah, those guys traveling around Europe in their car and doing impressions.
Oh yeah, the trip. Yeah,
and they were so good at Michael Caine. That was me consciously wanting to learn Michael Caine just for myself. Not to put on TV or anything.
But then how do you do it knowing that exists? Do you just go to Michael Caine and go, I'm going to come up with my own take on it?
Yeah, I realized.
And what is it?
I used to do it like this, and then I realized the whole hook is the nasal. You could talk like that, but if you go totally nasal, you got him there. And the hook that I do is I do Michael Caine in kindergarten. So it's Michael Caine at 5 years of age. And the line is, I like to eat paste. I don't know why. I like to eat things in the classroom. I chew on a hula hoop. And I ate a cheddar bone, a hula hoop. So that's right. But as far as Saturday Night Live having that focus, like it's going to be on TV Saturday, I'm terribly lazy about these things. So anyway, you understood how to do that, and it's a specific art form that I think some people are built for and some people aren't.
But what's the difference? Like, so you go on there and you do, I guess it was, you said 5 shows, maybe Dana said that. But then you go ultimately, not revenge, but you still are interested in it. You go back and do your own show, and then it works. You got to feel a little good. Like, see, it just wasn't my situation. That wasn't perfect for me.
Yeah, I mean, that's why I made the decision in the moment. And I think it was after I made that decision, in retrospect, a lot of people, including people in my life, are like, wow, you quit Saturday Night Live, and which was like, oh yeah, geez. But I did have a specific thing that I was going to, which was this MTV show, which was Jeff Kahn and I were working on this thing called It's Your Hour, where you could kind of do your own thing. And it was really because of the shorts. And that time I wanted to be doing short films, and I wanted to do what Albert Brooks had done on the show. Oh. That was sort of my dream. And he'd go and make these little short films and then show them on the show. And that wasn't happening back at that point. And so I had an opportunity to do that. And really, I think instinctually, I just felt like, oh, I'll be more comfortable doing this, and I'll be able to, be better.
What's funny, Ben, is that they go like, you go to MTV and they go, why should we do a show with you about sketches? You go, well, my resume shows you I just quit a sketch show. And they go, oh, so we should do one with you? And you go, yeah.
I was at the Emmys.
That's all you need to know.
Saturday Night Live was having a good year. It was the political campaign, everything. And the winner is, for Best Comedy Show, The Ben Stiller Show. And I remember you and Bob Odenkirk and your gang going up there, and just how shocked you were. Can you describe that feeling of like...
Oh, it was surreal. I mean, yeah, we'd been canceled for 9 months already. I think we'd been off the air for that long. And
you were canceled, that's right.
Yeah, we weren't even on the air.
Oh, that's even more of a shocker.
It was crazy. And, I think there was a fair amount of bitterness towards Fox that we all felt, because we felt, we thought like, oh, our show is, we were good and give us a chance, but we really didn't play our cards right with the network. It was a fledgling Fox network, at that time. They weren't even on fully, they were on maybe 12 hours a week or something. And we were up against 60 Minutes. So we had awful ratings. And, and also we were a weird show. I don't think anybody should have really watched us necessarily, but we felt very slighted.
I loved it.
But, the head of the network, I think we did something. I know there was a moment when there was some sort of presentation. I think it might have been the TCA things, which is like the Television Critics Association. And you go up and you talk to everybody. And Bob and I and Janine were up there, and we made some joke about the head of the network's hair. I think Bob did, looking like an old-timey Leatherhead football helmet, like that. That movie Leatherhead?
Yeah. That was so
yeah, we made a joke about the head of the network's hair looking like that, and that might have been the nail in the coffin for us. And after that, we didn't expect that, to win. I didn't expect to win. I heard Bob talking about it recently and saying that he actually thought we might have had a chance. But which he was such a great sketch writer.
Yeah,
he was amazing as a sketch writer.
So funny, Dana. It's so funny.
Yeah,
he was.
And he really, I think it was a lot of his writing was on the episode that won it, for us. So it was great. It was, and then I said some stupid thing about like, Fox, you missed something here. You're still like waving my image.
I was sitting next to Lauren when your name was announced or the show, and Lauren just went, "Oh,
that guy."
He didn't respond. "Oh, I see.
Yeah.
It's going to be one of those nights."
Yeah.
Marcy. Anyway.
I was listening to you guys break down the Lauren impressions on one of your recent episodes, which I can never, always entertaining to listen to different interpretations, different Lauren. I guess Rob Lowe does a good one.
Oh yeah, I do a copy of anyone's copy. I'm like a CC of a CC. It comes down.
That's what I do. Yeah. I'll try to do. That's all I can do.
Just noises.
How does Lauren feel about it? You think? I mean, at this point,
I think he is. I think he's Lauren. He's aware of it all.
Yeah.
Right. He doesn't dig into it. I think he understands how it's meant, because everybody always is doing it with a sense of like Lauren is this singular entity that has created this.
It's like he's a celebrity now, and it's like a celebrity impression in a weird way.
And he also knows, anytime he does a sketch on the show, he always knows how to do himself.
Yeah. He comes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like he always can be.
He would have a glass of Chardonnay. At least the first season, he'd walk around the floor during the live show, I guess just to try to calm us down, But he was an intimidating figure. But then after you're not on the show, he's like your greatest friend. He's like so positive, and everything is positive. I mean, you went back and hosted twice. I was just going to ask you to the nerve part. How, did you get past that by being a host on two shows? And you've done a lot of cameos as well recently, Michael Cohen.
Yeah.
Has it gotten a little better just because you're Ben Stiller now and there's nothing to lose? No. You're like already on show business.
Honestly, not at all. Every time I feel that thing in the pit of my stomach, especially when we were doing the last round, we were doing the Michael Cohen ones, because there were changes that were happening. And this must have happened to you all the time. The few times I was out there, I don't remember when I was on the show, the last minute changes, like literally like a minute, 30 seconds before, still playing around, like things like that.
And they're putting them on the cue cards while you're standing there, and they're like, this will be a little different. And you're like,
and you realize that you're just on your own. Like, it's like whatever, like you just have to do it. Nobody else is going to do it. You have to keep it in your head. So, it's fun when you can come on, I think, in an unannounced moment, right? When you show up in somebody, and when somebody else is hosting, and it's like all of a sudden, like you walk out. And I remember doing that once with De Niro, and that was probably the most fun, because I didn't really have to do anything. There was no pressure, and it was like, oh, people are excited to see you because they didn't know you were going to be there.
Right.
Yeah. Big applause.
Yeah. And then you don't have to do much. But I think the hosting, I think, is really, there's nothing like that feeling when you go out right before you have to go out. And again, but that's the same feeling I always had, so I don't think it'll ever go away.
It's chilling going through that door. Ben Stiller!
Yeah.
And just the roar of like expectations really high.
Yeah. And then it's like, then the show. All right.
I like when the host, Dana, when the host has to go, ladies and gentlemen, Red Hot Chili Peppers. They drag you all the way out there and they put you in a different outfit for that. I'm like, how about I just wear what I'm wearing? And
you've never heard of them, well, ladies and gentlemen, Bent Nerve.
It's always like Hot House Flowers.
It is interesting to watch when you go through the old shows, like what the bands were and like which ones are actually ones you remember.
Yeah, because they try to catch them right on the precipice of blowing up. And some of them blow down. they never quite catch. And you're like,
and now it's a game I play with myself watching the show now to see which bands I actually know better on the show. Because I'd say like 80% of the time I don't know the bands.
Do not.
That's how out of it.
I think it's a typo. I go, there's no way that's a band on the show. I have never heard of them.
When you listen to music, Ben, like now, today, what do you listen to? Do you listen to it in your car? Because that's where I listen to music.
Yes, I listen to music in my car. I live in the city, and I also live north of the city in New York, so I kind of go back and forth. And I like listening to music, but I'm so like, as I get older, like I can start going like 80s, 70s.
Yeah, XM radio.
90s. I go to the 90s, and then
fade out.
Like, I become the old guy who's like, what is this? What are they playing? What is this stuff? That's not music. This auto tune, all of it. I mean, I like hip hop, I guess, but from like even like the hip hop taste is much older. But I'm like, I could listen to like Elton John all day. I'm that guy.
Right. I got lost somewhere around the Spin Doctors after that. I think I'm pre-Spin Doctors. But
isn't that interesting though? Because it really does sort of like settle in like what you really like to listen to. And like
you just don't know it after a while. You just stop knowing anything. They go,
you stop wanting to know it too.
Yeah. I go, right? I don't even try.
I mean, isn't it a little
seek it out.
Like I was thinking about it, like if I'm listening to Elton John from 1973 right now, that's 50 years ago or whatever, right?
Pretty much.
Or almost.
Yeah.
Right. So that's like if my dad in 1973 was listening to 1920, some hit song from 1923 all the time.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, but I've had,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, totally. The one thing that happened to me was the stereos back then sucked. So I have a Volvo. It's not a rich man's car per se, but it's and the stereo in it is so insane that maybe 3 months ago I put on, Tiny Dancer. Okay. So I blast it. It's 1,500 watts. I'm surrounded titanium speakers. It's like I'd never heard the song before. But then I go to the hip hop channels with my sons, and they introduce me to Cardi B, and I'm like, wow, I've never felt so old. WAP. Anyway,
this one's about Poontang,
and that'd be G-rated.
They're not all open to it. I'm open to it, but then if I'm really being honest with myself, usually I don't get into new stuff.
So Ben, here's the question. How did you get so good at what you do, you think? Like you're a little kid, you like I want two things. I want one are the television shows. I know Star Trek. We got to interview William Shatner on this podcast, which was a thrill.
Oh, really?
A crazy, lucid, brilliant, analyzed everything, asked us questions. He was like a shrink. He's a scientist.
Amazing.
He described what a mirage is. We talked about UFOs. So I know that, and I was wondering what other films or TV shows that just blew your 10-year-old Ben's mind, and then you grow up to equal or surpass your heroes as a film director. I don't know, kind of surreal.
It's not, for me, I loved movies ever since I was a kid and was just making Super 8 movies as a kid and watching movies and television, in the 70s when it was, stuff was on TV or you actually went to the movies and go see Planet of the Apes or go see, Towering Inferno or Poseidon Adventure. I'd saw Poseidon Adventure 20 times.
Shelley Winters.
I was obsessed with it.
Gene Hackman. The Way Out was up there. He had a turtleneck on. He was just... It's out there.
Oh, it's incredible. Life is out there.
It's 1 inch less thick than 2 inches. Remember that? He said they had to go up there and they go, it's an inch of steel. They go,
up there is life. Down here is death.
That's
at one
good,
point he gives, do that again.
Up there is life. Down here is death. I don't know. That's all I got.
Shit.
And then he gives Shelley Winters a big wet kiss. Oh, I love you, Mrs. Rabinowitz, or whatever.
I'm here. And she swam under the water. She was the championship swimmer. And
God damn.
And then
that was
died.
A great movie.
But that tidal wave, that's a great shot, right, Ben? The way the tidal
binoculars?
The tidal wave.
It's incredible.
That's great direction. Is that Irwin?
Yeah, and Roddy McDowell is the waiter who helps them. And they had to turn the Christmas. They had to take the Christmas tree and climb up.
Smart.
I was just obsessed. It was everything was upside down.
Fucking
fascinating.
Just
I could have watched that all day.
Okay.
I remember once my parents were going to see. They had tickets to see Lily Tomlin performing live on Broadway. She was doing one of her amazing one-woman shows. And they said, come on, we're going to go see Lily Tomlin. I was like, no, Poseidon Adventure's on for like 12th time. I'm going to stay home and watch it.
Do you remember There's Got to Be a Morning After? That's the
Carol
song.
Lindley,
Unreal song, perfect for that.
God.
And it made
her
you
brother
cry.
dies. Her brother, the bass player, dies in the,
There's got to be a morning after. This is my Carol Lindley? I don't remember
closer
that. Carol Lindley.
Was that it? Did I remember that?
Yes, that's her.
Oh, dementia
she was
postponed.
amazing.
The only time it looked fake is when they look through the binoculars and they see the huge tidal wave, and then when it hits, they had a crew guy throw a Dixie cup of water into the captain's face. He goes, "Oh."
No, but remember when the ballroom went upside down and everyone's hanging from the...
Are you shitting me? It was unreal. I was scared as a kid. I was riveted. I wasn't scared enough like I was during scary movies. It was sort of accidentally scaring me, but I was riveted to it. Like, what if this happened? What would I do?
My sister and I snuck out when we were in LA with my parents, because we grew up in New York, but my parents would come out to LA to work and do like the Love Boat and things like that. Yeah. And we would stay at the Sunset Marquis Hotel with them. And like my sister and I snuck out once to see The Exorcist at the Man's Chinese or Grauman's Chinese Theater. And it scared the shit out of us. We just were so freaked out by it. But we didn't tell my parents that we'd gone to see it. So they couldn't understand why we were so...
Why you were crying every day all day?
Sleep, yeah.
Oh, my God.
Go ahead. I want to hear your Exorcist experience.
First of all,
we
I
all
never
have
saw
one.
it. I still can't see it. My brother told me about it, and I was so fucking scared that I would talk before I went to bed to make sure my voice wasn't like the way he said the voice was in the movie, because I was scared I'd be possessed. And then I shouldn't tell Dana, you don't have to listen to this, but I'll tell Ben because he's a better friend.
All right, I'll mute.
But Ben, I saw the movie Tommy at this huge theater in Arizona, the Cine Capri, when I was whatever age I was when it came out. It scared me that I got like a stomach ache and I had to leave when the acid queen, there was burning and it threw something to burn the guy's face and right at the beginning. And I go, what the fuck? That movie is not for kids. I thought it'd be a fun movie.
Yeah. Tina Turner, right?
Yeah, it was a psycho movie. I saw it
Ken
later.
Russell. He was like he did Altered States too. Remember that movie with William Hurt?
Oh,
where
yeah.
he's taking
And Babylon,
and
Bob going, I'm on fucking fire. Remember when this?
Yeah, and and his feet turn into ape feet in the shower. And it's just like he's having these crazy hallucinations. He was a really interesting filmmaker. Yeah. So I mean, those movies were so good when we were that age that I was so into them that, I wanted to do that and make movies. And so that's, I was always doing that. And that's honestly like part of the reason why I didn't stay at SNL and all that is because I wanted to keep exploring that and doing that. But I was also kind of like trying to be an actor too. And I think, I just have always loved that more. And probably like the last, 6 or 7 years, I haven't really acted in anything for a while. And it's been mainly directing. And I stopped acting in the things I was directing, which I've really enjoyed a lot more because I do feel like that gives you the opportunity to really focus on what you're doing. And it's hard when you're kind of, in front of the camera too.
Doing both, like just how hard it is to either, and then you got to do both.
I mean,
yeah.
Well, it's kind of cool that your latest thing you've done is being received. So it's brilliant. And I'm obsessed by it. My sons in their 20s are the way it's shot, I don't know, the set design, the colors, the lights, the action, it's so
music,
so atmospheric, and it gives you this wash of feeling. It really takes you out. I mean, when you watch how'd that come
what's interesting?
Yeah.
I mean, first of all, it was written, it was a script that came to our production company about 5 years ago by a writer as a writing sample, Dan Erickson, this guy who had not had anything produced. And I read and I was like, oh, this reminds me of like The Office. It reminds me of Office Space. It reminds me of like Parallax View. It reminds me of,
Stepford Wives, Truman Show.
Yeah, yes. And it had all these different things going on in it. I was trying to think of that other movie what was it? The Andromeda Strain. Do you remember that
or
one?
THX 1138.
THX 1138.
Yeah, the Andromeda
So
Strain.
I just thought it was like an interesting thing he was doing with the tone, which he was taking the office workplace comedy and then sort of like adding this other surreal layer to it, which is like, who are these people? What are they doing? Why are they doing it? But yet they're bantering like they work in an office, but they don't even know who they are. You know, that's like a really interesting concept. So anyway, I just, it took a while to set it up. I knew Adam Scott was the guy to play it because I felt like Adam has sort of like mastered that tone.
Yeah, can we talk about him for 10 seconds? Adam Scott is, I saw him on Big Little Lies. You've seen him around for years, and then I've seen him on this. I go, holy shit, he's never made a false move. He's
amazing, and he has this like really interesting quality because like sometimes he'll look like Tom Cruise. He'll have this like this like thing, and then other times he'll be like sort of like this kind of regular like guy, like kind of very self-effacing, and then he'll be kind of like flat and nothing going on, but then all of a sudden you look in his eyes and there's some really deep thing happening. And he's also like, just as an actor, he just is so specific. And I call him an acting machine. And I mean that as a compliment.
Yeah. Whatever you want, you can do it.
Wait, you too, David. I feel like you're an acting machine.
Yes,
also.
Thank you.
And he has this ability to like just change things by a millimeter, but and still do what he did. But then like as a director, it's great to work with him. So the whole thing was really interesting to me, and trying to do something that I guess was an experiment. And then I thought, well, it's fun to be able to experiment with something. We did it all during the pandemic. It's been literally like 2.5 years working on it.
Wow.
Yeah. So we started before the pandemic, and then we were about to start shooting, and then the pandemic happened and we had to shut down. So it's been a long process, and we were in this, very oppressive, claustrophobic set for like 9 months shooting it. So it got a little bit, like it was the show kind of like folded in on itself.
And you got John Turturro and Christopher Walken. I mean, those are also just...
Yeah, it was weird because Turturro, I was talking to him about doing the part, and he suggested Chris Walken. He said, because we hadn't cast the role of his coworker, Bert, who, Chris plays. And John said, well, have you cast it? I'm like, no, I'm thinking about somebody. So he goes, what about Chris? And I'm like, yeah, that would be great, John. Okay, I'll reach out to you because I could call him. And he literally made it happen. He's like, Chris,
everyone loves Christopher Walken.
I know.
That's a great guy to have in anything.
He's got this amazing voice, amazing face, and you can't not look at him on a screen.
Yeah. I mean, and he's aware, he's such a sweet person. I actually worked with him in that first play that I ever did. The thing I did when I did Hustler of Money, the Takeoff on Colored Money. Yeah. He was in that production, and he worked with my dad a lot.
He's very sweet and sensitive. Guy, I remember, this is a non sequitur, standing next to Bonnie Raitt at a party, and it was Eric Roberts and Christopher Walken, and this is in the 90s, and Bonnie Raitt said, I feel like I'm having sex just looking at him. I don't know.
I wonder if he thinks, if he is aware of all these impressions, and if it throws him off acting because, that's the way he sounds, and now he's like, do I sound like a cartoon of myself?
Yeah, I think he's aware that people, he knows that people will adjust scripts when he's in it, that because he's in it, I think he's aware of it. But he honestly, I think, is not a guy who, he doesn't really, he's not, I don't want to like say too much because of protect his privacy, but like, he's not a guy who engages in social media and does it, you know what I mean? Like he really just lives his life. And he's a very genuine person. Like I think he loves acting. He's been acting since he was a small child. I mean, literally like 5 or 6 years old.
Yeah.
I have a question for you, but this one is not Christopher Walken related, but it's still a good question.
Can't wait.
When in Severance, in the first episode, I picture we all get scripts. So you're reading it. I'm like, I wonder where it won Ben over. Because I think you only read the one, right? You only read the first episode.
Yep, that's right. That's right.
So I'm watching. It starts a little bleak. It's got some interesting, creepy music. I mean, I don't really know what I'm watching yet,
Yeah.
And so I'm watching. I'm like, this looks so different. And so I'm just getting hooked in on the fact, I don't know what's happening, that's kind of fun. But I'm picturing it on the page because you sort of, bring it more to life. And then And in those last couple minutes, I go, oh shit. And that's probably where I go, I bet Ben was like, oh fuck, this is great. Because it makes me go, I got to watch the next one now.
Right. Which I think is like the bottom line with TV shows. And I learned that on the last one I worked on, which is like you just want to get people to want to watch the next episode. You know, you want to have a story that unfolds. But, you know, when I read it, it didn't have all that. There was no music attached to it.
Right.
I was just like reading it. And it tonally, I think I might have taken it a slightly different place that I didn't even know it was going to go, because I really responded to that workplace comedy thing that was in there, you know, the banter that was happening, you know, when like just sort of like the back and forth between Adam and Zach Cherry in the beginning when they're at their workstations. That seems so familiar to me and funny and like, oh, I've heard that. But then, like I said, it was that other layer to it. But I think the ending too, I just thought as a pilot, I thought, oh, well, this crazy little thing that happens at the end with one of the characters where you don't expect it. That really pulled me in. And, but I don't know, you know, I don't know if you're like this, but like when there's something you read as that just you have a gut feeling about where you just go, okay, this is something that I really connect with. I don't even know why I connect with it, but it's just, you know, it's just pulling on something that like it's resounding with something inside of me, which sometimes you don't have to explain too.
Also, it's unique. It's a unique read. So I'm sure you see, like I get similar comedies a lot, and you and Dana. And so if you see something out of that world, it's already a little easier to keep your attention because you're not reading this every day.
And is it kind of unintentionally zeitgeisty, you know, about work from home and the Great Reset and people rethinking their lives? Because it rang true that sometimes people are in a corporate situation, they're not quite sure what they're doing, which is kind of funny in Severance. No one really knows what they're doing. You know,
that's the funny.
That's one of the things I loved about it, is they have no idea what they're doing. Yeah. They know what they're supposed to do. They don't know why they're doing it or what purpose it serves, and they know they're not really supposed to question that. Also, you know, But you know, this was all before everything that was happening.
The big reset.
I mean, he wrote the script like 6 years ago or something, so it was kind of ahead of it all.
It's I don't know. It feels like people are definitely rethinking that kind of corporate structure, and it seems like everyone in the world is really rich now because it's never been in our face as much. Notwithstanding Ukraine right now, but just the idea of people monetizing fame or Instagram or what is it, David? Fans only. So it's
only fans, Dana.
It's a harder
I'll give you my login code.
Only fans. Sorry, I had the words right, but it seems like a harder sell to get people in a cubicle for 50 years, you know, with all this other input coming at them. But anyway,
they're also being told. Kids are being told, like I see on these places where they're like, "Why are you working for other people when you can make millions on your own?" It's like, I don't know if that's the best message. I mean, it's a good message, but everyone chasing their dreams at once might collapse everything. You know, it's very hard to say keep one foot in reality, but always try to strive to do something better in life. But it's hard because right now they're like, quit your job.
I also think that's changed in the way, in show business too. And like what we talk about back when there was no YouTube or anything or Instagram to post funny stuff. You know, I made my little short and was like taking it around. Now it's almost incumbent on an actor or a comedic performer to put their stuff out there and to make stuff so that you have to do that really to get noticed. And then the other aspect of that is there's so much of it out there now. It's almost the opposite, where now, like, how do you get noticed within that sea of, content, quote unquote? Yeah. And I think it has changed the way people sort of approach, like, what are you supposed to, what do you call success? And, are you supposed to be successful by 19 or 20? And, if you're putting your stuff out there.
It feels younger. And it feels younger when you're Kylie Jenner and you're like 19 and you have $1 billion. Everyone goes, wait, it's so much stress for kids. Like, I'm so far behind. I've got FOMO from Instagram. Everyone's prettier than me. Everyone's, it used to be, there's 2 girls at my school are pretty. And now I'm like, I'm competing against the world if you're a woman. It's like, I see every guy's life. Everyone's rich, it seems. Everyone's having a better time than me. It's funny that during the lockdown, it almost let you relax for a second if you're a kid to go, at least everyone's in the same spot for a second. Like, they're not on a yacht, they're not skiing, they're not, and I don't feel, because I think people feel badly over and over quietly about all that stuff, and it makes them nuts.
I feel that way.
Even you feel that way.
Yeah.
Because I looked up.
Yeah. I mean, What?
Your celebrity net worth. No, I'm kidding. No. But,
I know. Dana's about to make fun of me. I can tell.
I definitely feel that way. I got off Instagram because of that.
Yeah.
Like I'm still on Twitter, but I couldn't. I was feeling all those feelings way too much, and I was like, I'm too old to be getting into this.
Right.
Like, it's not healthy. I should be really concentrating and spending my time, on much more positive things. And, so I just made that choice for myself. The thing is, when you do take yourself out of that, right now, everybody sort of communicates that way though, too. Yeah. Even there are good parts of it, being able to stay in touch with family and, and stay in touch with people that you don't see all the time. But I just decided that for me, that was too much. And I think, I don't see the good thing. I feel like Twitter also, I have conflicted feelings about Twitter too, because I like being able to get immediate news and information and things that are going on in the world. But then I'm also, again, way too aware, I think, sometimes of things that I shouldn't really be spending my time on,
Did you turn down any big commercials like in the 90s or the knots? Or did you do some? I mean, now that's totally changed and people talk about their brand and getting their product in the marketplace, which is great by me. But did you turn down commercials? I did a few, naively.
I didn't. I've never gotten offered a lot of commercials, weirdly, but I did a Japanese beer commercial in the 90s.
A sigh or
nice.
I'm trying to even remember that. It was a crazy thing. I had to go umasugi dayo, and I was like on this like frozen wave or something.
That's it. And you got paid money.
I got paid money for that. Jeez. And then not a lot of offers after that. Maybe that affected it. But I did. Yeah, I got offered one a couple of years ago. One of those Super Bowl ads, and somebody else did it, and Juicy. I saw it, and I just felt like it didn't feel right for me.
Someone else did it? I had that happen in a Super Bowl ad, and then someone else did it. I'll tell Dana later.
I'll do anything at this point. But I remember Paul Newman, and I don't know if he gave it to charity, but Paul Newman is like the greatest kind of celebrity in history, I think. I think he was riding a tricycle or something, like it was a motorcycle or something, but Paul Newman, and I think Meryl Streep did one, and then they didn't like it, and she got millions and they didn't even show it. But I do think the Super Bowl is unique. Everyone kind of goes, hey, it's a Super Bowl commercial.
Yeah. I mean, also now it's become such a thing where the commercials are such a huge deal, and, everybody watches. I watch them, and see like, okay, who's going to do
Did they ever ask you to direct one?
I directed some commercials back in the day. I have been offered commercials to direct. I'm not great at directing commercials because I don't love that process. At the end of the day, it's a little bit like I have to care about this somehow.
Dan's like, move the Doritos closer to the Chihuahua, please.
Hold it up while you're talking, and you have to angle it.
The Chihuahua's chewing the bag.
It's an art form. I enjoy a funny commercial, but you have to really care about that stuff.
So, Ben, how are you as a celebrity? Like your emotional temperature, I just made that up.
How are you, Ben?
Is like kind of unassuming superstar. Obviously, you're not out there all the time. I mean, when was the first time you were like Mickey Rooney and the Twilight Zone, like, I'm too famous. What
blew you up? What was the one that blew you up where you were like, oh shit, now it's getting...
there's a point where you hit critical mass. I don't know what year where it's like, you're really famous.
Yeah.
And that's
where my glasses broke and I couldn't read any of the books.
Oh, Burgess Meredith.
That's
Picture, if you will, a young Ben
Yeah.
Stiller with fame that he never wanted. No, go ahead.
I think it was a kind of a gradual, thing for me because I was around for a while from like my little stint in like late 80s to, then getting little parts in movies in
Something
the 90s.
Something About Mary was
the one that really was the first time I was ever in.
Yeah, that was huge. And Meet the Parents and then Zoolander. That was pretty quickly, boom. Go ahead.
Brett Favre.
Yep. Yeah. And that was like 1998 or something. And I had been doing it for, on and off for 10 years and had, had directed Reality Bites and directed Cable Guy at that point. And so I was working in show business and happy. I was really happy. And then that movie, was a big hit. And I remember people going like, oh, I knew, like someone I knew who worked in my team who said, I knew it was always going to happen for you. I was like, I thought it had happened. I thought I was doing okay.
It was great. What are you talking about?
I really did.
Comeback. And you're like, I've heard people say comeback. I go, comeback.
How did you wear a hat and stuff when you went out, or sunglasses?
Yeah.
When you first got, David would Lovitz would be in a convertible, hi everybody. He had a, go ahead.
I mean, I was definitely going around LA. I had a period of time when I acted ridiculous, I'm sure. Like I bought a Jaguar.
Sweet. Do it.
That lasted for like 2 years.
No, I got it.
Tab.
A low key ride in LA.
Yeah.
I mean, it was definitely like, fun, but a little bit sort of intoxicating in that, it's that thing where like everybody, is recognizing, everybody's being nice to you. And there's just a lot of opportunity in all ways. And it's like, it's weird. It's weird.
When there was a jizz scene, you might not remember in Something About Mary.
No, I forgot. Which one was that?
Was there a discussion of the amount of jizz? Is it too offensive? Is it too far?
Yeah, there was.
Because I don't think people have seen too much jizz on screen.
The Farrelly brothers.
Or
right?
since.
Yeah. I had a discussion with Peter and Bobby Farrelly about that scene because, I took my work seriously. And I was questioning a lot in that movie where I would like question all of like the logic moments in that movie with them. And then I realized halfway through the movie that, shooting the movie that I just was wrong most of the time because because they're just going to do what they did. And they were so right because they knew exactly what they were doing. But I was like, okay, I'm going to make sure this makes sense to me. So my question was, how am I not feeling the jizz on my earlobe? Right? Why am I not feeling this? If she's right? How can I
nerve ending?
How do you play that?
I literally said, can we somehow set up in the movie at some point in the past, I lost feeling in my earlobe.
Oh boy!
And what did they say?
And they're like, Ben, don't worry about it. It's funny. It's funny. Just go with it. It's funny.
Fuck, yeah.
Nobody gives a fuck. I'm like, really? I think it's not going to be as funny if you think you're wondering why I don't feel it on my earlobe. So I lost that argument, and thankfully.
Yeah.
And,
I guess you're smart to say, when I'm in someone else's thing, I've done that where you go, this is their thing. I'm kind of along for the ride. I did sign up and I can put in my 2 cents, but overall they're going to win in editing. So I got to, at some point, just got to roll with it.
Yes. And you have to recognize that, and I think it took me, I remember we were there in Miami. It was so much fun shooting that movie too, because it was just like everybody was having a great time. And they cut together like the first 10 minutes of the movie. And Peter pulled me into his trailer and said, hey, check this out. I want to show you. And I saw the first 10 minutes and I was like, oh, this is like, it's so much fun. And it had such like, and I think I was like, I'm like kind of more of like a serious type of person or, and they were just like happy fun. I'm like, okay, this is like a happy fun thing, which I have to get used to and, embrace. It's probably good for me. But I remember also after the movie, we shot the movie, weirdly, I keep saying weirdly, don't I?
It's a good word.
A couple of times.
You have a big life.
I said, no, but I was living in the same apartment building as Cameron Diaz in LA in Larchmont.
That is weirdly.
Time. Yeah. And I was coming downstairs and she was going out with Matt Dillon at the time. And, so we'd all done the movie together. The movie hadn't come out and he'd just seen a screening of the movie. And Matt was like, hey, man, did you see the movie? It's funny, man. It's funny. And he's like, dude, you jerked off in that movie. And
that's a good Matt Dillon.
Yeah, that is good.
And I was like, yeah, I know, I did it. I definitely did it. And he was like, he was saying it as a compliment, I think, but he was kind of like, you really did that. And at that time, we didn't know how the movie was going to do. So it felt a little bit out there.
Scary.
Like, okay,
your balls are in a zipper, dude. It's great.
Yeah. It was like The Hangover in a movie that came out and just kind of changed everything for a while. But I'd like to talk before we go, whenever we go, about Tropic Thunder, because that hit me like a ton of bricks. And I've probably seen that 3 times. Mm-hmm. I mean, I just absolutely, I think,
Ben thought you were going to say 30.
You went full R word. You went full R word. That's why you went home empty-handed. It's like for comedy writing at the time. I know that you couldn't do it today, I suppose, but God, that was brilliant, that movie. How did you fucking come up with that?
But I think in today's, environment now, of course, it just would never even get out of it would never get out of development. But that was an idea that I had since I had a little part in Empire of the Sun in 1987. I was playing one of the POWs in that movie,
which was hilarious.
Thank you. I tried to give it a little.
And Robert Downey Jr. was in blackface in that film too. I remember that.
I thought, that at that time in like mid 80s, all the actors my age were auditioning for every, war movie. It was all war movie. It was all Hamburger Hill, Platoon, and we all had to go, and everybody was going on these fake boot camps where they go out with Dale Dye and spend 2 weeks in the Philippines and get dirty and get yelled at. And
well, could David, just for an insert, David, could you do your Michael J. Fox war thing, and then go back to the?
I can't do it. Hey, Sarge, you got to give me a minute on this. Hey, she's just a farm girl, Sarge. Come on, Mallory. Hey,
what would no? I have to ask you, what would Burt Lancaster be like in Tropic Thunder?
I'm telling you, we got to get to that river. I got to cover my. I'm not afraid of nobody. I did a movie with Burt Lancaster.
That's one of my favorite of your impressions. Is the Kirk Douglas Burt Lancaster interchange.
That thing.
Oh, that's beautiful. Yeah.
Would you like to come over to my house? I'd like to come over. 5:00. I'm on Cannon Drive. There's a code 5432.
That's a gate code?
No, we're gonna. Yes, we're gonna wrestle, right? We're gonna wrestle Greek Roman style because I like to wrestle. I do too. Two men having fun doesn't mean a thing. I made it a little more PG.
Yeah, no, that's good.
As you know.
Did you ever see The Swimmer, by the way, with Burt Lancaster?
Oh yeah.
What a weird, crazy movie where he just swims in people's pools.
He just jumps fences.
He just literally, he's in this like tighty whitey, speedo thing the whole time. He looks good, but it's like he's swimming in people's pools for 2 hours to get home and kind of going crazy. It's fascinating.
Dana's like, I love that movie so much I saw it once.
I saw Tropic Thunder. I'm going to up it to 5.
Change it.
I'm going to up it to 5 times.
Thank you.
Now, Ben, before you go, one last one. We're not talking enough about Reality Bites.
Yeah,
when Spade was in it.
Come on.
Dana, do you know this? Spade had a little part for one day.
You were in Reality Bites?
I was Habitude Wiener Dude.
Wiener Dude. Come on.
Ben plucked me out of obscurity, out of a rigorous casting, and I went in there. I don't know if I was on SNL or was I on it?
I feel like I'm trying to even remember how that happened.
I don't remember the year.
Yeah.
But Ben, the funniest part about this is first of all, I'm not great at acting, so I'm trying to memorize the script. I thought before I do the scene, I should know it because I do that with a lot of my parts. So I look at it and I go, I'm interviewing Winona for a job at the Wiener Hut or whatever it's called. And so I'm the manager. And then, so I have, the joke is like, I go, whatever it is, I interview her and then I go, I'm going to throw out some numbers. Remember I tell her she's going to be a cashier. So I go, what's 85 plus 22? And she's like, $1.20. I'm like, nope. Yeah. She's like, $1.40. I'm like, nope. She goes, $1.80. I go, it's not an auction. Right? And so I go, but listen. So anyway, I do this, and then Ben hits me with this fucking curveball. I picture we're sitting at a little interview table, like in the back of Burger King, and then I just go back and forth. And then he goes, "Okay, let's go now. Spade scene's up. Here you go. You're gonna walk this way. You're gonna hand the customer this. You grab a bag. You put this mop over here." I go, "What the fuck? I have to walk and talk and say the lines?" And you go, "Yeah." And I go, "Holy shit!" And inside my head, I'm like, "Whoop, whoop, whoop." This was never discussed. It's never happened in acting before. And so I go, "Why is he doing this to me?" And then Winona, all she has to do is trail behind me. That's way easier. And so I'm literally going in rehearsal going, if I hand him this, then I say this. That's how you remember it. You know, You go by blocking. So I go, pa, 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 pa. Somehow we got it. But I was scared.
There was a lot of business. You had a lot of business. And I think, I believe I did it as a oneer. I think it's like a one-shot deal.
Which is worse because you have to get everything right.
Yeah.
It's like you're traveling, you're following with a Steadicam or something.
Yes.
And you have to get it all right. And I'm like, But obviously that's the way to do it. Obviously it made it funnier. And then,
yeah, and it was
and
fun.
then I still love it. I love hearing people saw Reality Bites.
And I love that you're in it too. It always makes me happy.
I'm going to have to order that up on Amazon tonight and check out David's
And the last
scene.
thing I got to tell Ben is when I did this last movie, they go, Sandler sent me this movie and he goes, you're not like, it's the wrong Missy. He goes, it's not the typical thing you do, blah, blah. But then I read it and I go, oh, this is like what a Ben Stiller would do, because I always like what you do in these movies where there's this craziness around you. Like, Meet the Parents. You're not always doing that, but you're very good at it. And I go, I want to do one where it's sort of a, grounded guy that's overwhelmed. And so everything was happening around me. Swartzen was funny. Schneider was funny. Lauren Lapkus, who was great as the Missy character. And I was sort of trying to keep it together, but it's a hard thing to do, and you do it very well. And I was like going, if I can just kind of do that part, because it's an underrated thing to do in movies.
Yeah.
And it really keeps everything working if you have good reactions and do it. And then that movie was super fun, wound up being, but I just wish they could tell you ahead of time if the movie's going to be a hit. It would be so much easier to shoot. Like Something About Mary, you'd have so much more fun if you go, this is a fucking hit movie.
You never know.
Here we go.
That's the old adage. You just, you really have no idea. But I think like when you're doing that, like that kind of thing, the great thing is I always felt like there's no pressure on me except to just to be in the scene and hopefully react honestly. But like, you have to not have the ego about like feeling like I always wanted more funny people around me, because I just felt like that would make the movie funnier.
It helps everything.
And I would
if
be
you
helped
understand
by being around funny people. It would make me funnier.
How happy?
in a hit.
How
It's
happy
working.
were you when you sat down to either rehearse or shoot the first scene on Meet the Parents, and you saw that De Niro was playing it full badass De Niro, which made it so funny the way he intimidated your character? It was just such a perfect comic chemistry.
He was amazing. And also, I think, he at that point, he hadn't done a bunch of comedies. He'd maybe done Analyze. I don't know if Analyze This was before or after that. I think. But he, and he was one of the producers of the movie too, but he totally got it from the beginning and, was just playing that. He knew that playing it straight. And also he knew with me that, he could just sense with me that I was nervous around him. And so he would, you know what I mean? Like he wouldn't make it.
So he worked off that.
Yeah, he enjoyed doing that. And, it was really like, that was a real thing. Like I just remember like we'd be in the car together doing these scenes. And then like, back then we were doing scenes where you actually were in the car. It wasn't like a green screen. And we'd have to then take the car around to start the scene again. And then we'd have to just sit together in the car in between when we did the scene and when we restarted. Right. So there'd be like 5 minutes of us just sitting uncomfortably, which
staring.
Literally just, you could have just kept the camera rolling. It was the same as the movie. It just was the movie.
What do you say? I have nipples. Do you want to milk me? Or so it's just like coming out of De Niro's mouth.
You want to milk my nipples?
You want to milk my nipple?
Yeah, great.
That's good.
All right, well, let's let Ben go. He's been great.
You guys,
Ben was very nice. Thank you, buddy.
You're so funny. You're the funniest people.
Great to catch up with you, Ben.
Yeah. I'm glad you're doing this.
For kids who want to
Check
live
out
stream
Severance.
Ben Stiller, for young people, Dodgeball, Starsky and Hutch, Madagascar, Something About
my
Mary.
God.
More than I could mention.
Jesus.
It's a resume. I got exhausted reading your Wikipedia
What's
page.
Severance on? Is Severance Apple TV?
Severance is Apple TV Plus. It's Apple TV Plus. That's the part you have to pay for. Yeah. And it's
that's all right.
It streams every Friday. So
All right. Pleasure,
Thanks,
Ben.
guys.
Thanks.
Great talking to you.
Appreciate
Thanks,
it.
Ben.
All right.
Thank you.
Talk
See you,
soon.
pal.
All right.
Hey, what's up, flies? What's up, fleas? What's up, people that listen? We want to hear from you and your dumb questions.
Questions, ask us anything. Anything you want.
You can email us at flyonthewall@cadence13.com. We have one from Andy Lipsy.
All right.
Andy Lipsy says, hi, guys. What was the first concert you ever saw live, and who do you want to see that you haven't been able to? I'll start with this. I saw Heart. 16, I saw Heart, the band. They fucking rocked it. And my brother snuck in some slow gin. You ever know what that is? It's so gross. It's like
Boone's Farm.
It's like a muddy
cherry wine.
It's like a red. I don't know what it is, but it had booze in it. I didn't care. I couldn't be picky. Chugged, barfed, and I did like Heart. And I still love them. And then did a joke about them on SNL and got in trouble. And then I would love to see Led Zeppelin live. Dana?
Led Zeppelin is the greatest. When I was 14, I was running cross country freshman in high school the summer I ran a 6-mile time trial at 5:20 a mile. So I was feeling really good. I have 3 older brothers. So I was 14, 16, 18, and 20. They took me to Fillmore West.
Ooh.
10 years after, Cactus and Toe Fat. So I'm there. Girls are bikini dancing. There's a show. Bill Graham actually came out and said, "Stay away from the brown acid." He actually did.
That's the old
and they were
joke.
passing joints along. I didn't have any, but all that experience was unforgettable. Then went outside, and this dude, kind of like a wino, was really high, and he looked up at the marquee. He was really buzzed, and he goes, 10 years after, Cactus and Toe Fat. What the fuck?
That's what I said when you
Toe
just said
Fat was the name of a rock band.
Toe Fat.
My brother, in 1966, he came home from Fillmore West. He was like in 8th grade. He says, "I've just seen the best guitar player in the world." I said, "What's his name?" He woke me up. I was in like 6th grade.
Jewel.
He goes, Jimi Hendrix?
For real,
It was Hendrix. It was Hendrix. I said, "Yeah, weird name, probably won't go anywhere." He goes, "Why do you say that?" "Just a thought." But then we saw Jeff Beck a lot, me and my friends. With Jeff Beck, I saw Fleetwood Mac.
Jesus.
A lot of Neil Young.
And who would you see now if you could pick?
Snoop Dogg.
Okay.
Because my sons played that for me, and that was the first time I really appreciated hip hop. Snoop. Drop it like it's hot. Drop it like it's hot.
Thank you, Andy.
When it's feeling kind of hot. Drop it like it's hot. You a bad boy, David Spade.
You guys, we've got the wonderful Amy Poehler, who we've been talking about using on here for a long time because she's so great and she's such a part of comedy, obviously SNL, but just comedy in general.
I think she's as good as anybody sketch player in the last, I'm going to say 70 years. She's up there with anybody.
That's a wide net.
Men and
Good
women.
job.
I don't want to go Lucille Ball, Carol Burnett, Gilda Radner, but I can also go Sid Caesar, Peter Sellers. She's very talented. She writes, she directs, she sings, and she's a heck of a nice person.
She has a new podcast, and she's going to talk about that. We're going to talk about her tour with Tina Fey. We won't talk as much about her unbelievably funny movies and TV shows because of the SAG strike, which is happening as we speak. We can't mention that. So don't get mad at us. We love to hear about that
David,
stuff.
No offense or nothing, but you just mentioned it.
I know I can just mention it, but that's it.
You can mention that you're not supposed to mention.
I didn't say which things, though. I don't think we can say what they are.
Oh, certain things we can't mention.
I can say the word TV. That's all I can say.
Okay. I could say something like I went bowling and I got a strike.
I wouldn't.
Okay?
I wouldn't.
Eh.
Yeah, I don't want any trouble.
It's a game show.
That's really, you're walking a thin line.
There's our game show. Can you say it or not?
What's going to get you canceled? That should be one.
No, the contestants are already canceled and they have to fight their way out of being canceled.
That's good. That's a good game show. Uncanceled. No, that's
But Amy Poehler is, I'm going to say it 1940 style. She's a kick in the pants.
real
She's
kick in the pants.
She's a natural performer. She's great in movies, great film actor. I don't know. She may be one of those, I might have to say, what can't she do?
That's very true. We'll find out. I know what we can't say. Anyway.
But we can say Amy Poehler, thank goodness. Yeah. That's not outlawed.
All right, here she is, guys.
Amy Poehler.
Hi, guys.
Hello.
Can you hear me okay?
We can hear you and see you. I love your glasses.
Oh,
Look at those are cool, yeah.
They're kind of 60s or something hip.
Yeah, I get them off Amazon.
Mm-hmm.
Because now I gotta use my cheaters.
Got your cheaters. Give me them cheaters. Look at Dana. Watch him go.
Would this change the vibe of the interview?
Yeah.
It makes you feel more like conservative, like you're gonna drop some politics.
Really?
Yeah.
Sunglasses?
Well,
Yeah.
Interesting.
Would you agree, David?
yeah, I think there's a vibe.
Are you
going
guys
on.
forming an alliance?
Yeah,
I mean,
we are.
It's a little early, but I get it. You overlapped, or did you overlap?
I wish. No. I mean, but David hosted.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Wait, we can talk about SNL, right?
Yeah, because we're not.
Okay,
It's
good.
already been on. But Amy did a funny one. I just thought of this, Amy. You were my stunt double.
Yes, we did a sketch where I played David's stunt double because we could probably be brother and sister. Like we have
So
similar features. So I played your stunt double. And then that's all I remember of the premise.
No, I think it was someone played The Rock, and I was like The Rock's buddy in a buddy comedy. And then when we got to like climbing on a building, they brought in Chris, and I think Chris, and that was you, which I thought would be a boy, and it was you. And you're like, "Hey, we're gonna do this. We're all good." And I'm like, and Seth, I think, was the director.
That's right.
I'm just remembering as I go, and I'm like, "Hey, is it weird that I'm a guy?" And he's like, "No, it's all equal, and it's just stunt people." And I'm like, "Right," and I'm not loving it. And then when she gets on, she goes, "Oh no, a rock! It's so scary." I'm like, "I don't think she should talk if she's my." You keep like crying and acting like you're me, and I'm like, "That's not what I'd say," and no one has any problem with it.
No, and I think when I put on that wig, and I think we looked a lot.
It was pretty close.
Yeah, it was pretty close.
I'm gonna say,
yeah, Dana, you blew it. You missed out.
British, Irish, Scandinavian, German.
I wish. Yeah.
French.
I wish. British, Irish, all the way.
Right.
Mostly Irish. Mostly Irish. My brother lives in Sweden, so sometimes people assume there's some Scandinavian, but no, none that we can find.
Lots of Norway, lots of Scottish, and lots of Irish.
I'm British, American, and Southwest. I'm airlines.
Have you guys done the 23andMe? Have you done any of that stuff?
Terrified.
No.
My son did, and he had a disproportionate amount of Neanderthal. So I don't know. Maybe that explains something. I don't know. Well, it's not like he's half Neanderthal, and my wife's half Dutch. There was no Dutch. No. His grandfather was 100% Dutch, and there's no Dutch, and a lot of caveman. Anyway, welcome. We're going to do this for the rest of the podcast. It's about genealogy today with our expert, Dr. Sheila.
Oh my gosh, that's right. I'm here to promote my podcast. Thank you for reminding me.
Do not forget about this.
I listened to it, and it's one of those things you go like, what a great thing to do right now.
It's so fun.
Like, because everyone's in therapy. Our therapist, we have a company that we love, a sponsor that does online therapy. So therapy's big. I listened to the Chris Parnell and a guest star, hysterical.
Yeah,
I mean, it's really funny, and they're so easy. It's better than this podcast. Put it that way. If you're listening to this, switch over. It's not a competition, but they're nice. They're like 22, 25 minutes. Amy plays megalomaniacal, but with so many, because I was in therapy for 5 years. I still see or talk to a therapist.
Yeah, you're not done.
You're capturing a rhythm and a thing, especially in that every time someone says something, you just ask them another question, kind of. So that makes me feel sad, and sad is feeling bad about myself and feeling bad about myself.
They do their own therapy, basically.
So anyway, that's all I have to say. Well, when you talk about it, promote it, or just say why you're doing it.
Well, it's super fun. We did it during the strike, and we just improvised with a bunch of our buddies like Anna and Chris, and a bunch of SNL people are on it. Rachel Dratch, Paula Pell, Tina Fey. We have couples, people that are actual couples in real life, and people that are comedy partners, like Abby and Alana from Broad City. We have all these different people come in, and I play a therapist named Dr. Sheila, and it has to be said in the form of a question because she's not a doctor. And it's just that fun game where I'm bad at my job and they have something they want to work out. And we just improvise and cut it down. And it's just been a blast. It's been very creatively fun because it's been a minute since I've gotten to play a character.
The improv bones are rusty. I mean, I heard, and it was probably the first one, but I don't know if it said who it was. So I know your voice is very unique and then and distinctive, but who was the first couple that had the mom problem?
That was out today. And that is the three great Chicago improvisers, Pete Gross, Jean Villepique, and Stephanie Ware. And that is that was the premise of that is super fun. Is basically a couple comes in and they're like, "What's the problem?" He's like, "I don't know what the problem is," and the wife is like, "His mom is really meddling in our relationship."
Mm-hmm.
So, Dr. Sheila encourages her to talk about how much she hates her mother-in-law, and then we reveal that she's been hiding under a pile of blankets the whole time. And those three performers are just like expert improvisers, and
being I've done a little improv, but I don't really do it, and it was mostly because it was so hard. And when you hear it so smooth like that, I guess there's editing, but I was thinking it sounds so conversational that I was thinking, where are they cutting? Because it's just boom, 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 and so many throwaway lines that are just like. And he's like, well, I eat breakfast with my mom. She comes over in the morning and makes me my cereal. And does that bother you? And the wife's like, well, I do sleep in. I usually get up at 9, 9:30, 10, 10:30. That was such a funny answer. 9, 9:30, 10, 10:30. And but there's so many little texture jokes like that keep it going, aside from the overall feel that is a funny idea of who's the queen of the house. And he suggests that his mom could be co-mom of their babies. I think, is that what they call it?
I love the way the laugh points just sneak up on you, because the rhythm you're using for the therapy is so accurate. There's a kind of it's almost like a dialect in a way. It's softly.
I think it's really. I love therapy too, Dana. I love it. I revere it, and I'm in a lot of it. And I love watching couples therapy and listening to couples therapy too. I'm always fascinated by how vulnerable people will be. Publicly, like it's like, whoa, I can't believe they're sharing this with the whole world. But I could listen to it forever. So, and I love podcasts. By the way, love your podcast. I've listened to almost every episode.
Probably every single person on the podcast.
That's crazy.
So great that I getting a chance to do it. I'm so grateful.
You made my day.
I love it. Yeah. And we all SNL, like you've said many times, is kind of it's like you were in very specific, like special forces, and you all just want to kind of share stories about the nightmares that you continue to have about it 20 years later.
It's all poor rich people. It is funny. We're like special ops. We say war, and then people say, don't say that. So we changed it.
I know. You're right. I shouldn't say that.
We changed it to SWAT team.
I said it once here. It's like the Marine, and I backed off of it. In 10 seconds, right. I said, please don't write me any letters, because it's fun to say that. I did not mean to equivocate it in that way. I would just say, if someone is unknown, maybe in an improv group like yourself, and is suddenly on national TV, and then we all, as an audience, what's her name? Amy Poehler. Oh, she's getting really good. It's like a reality show. Oh, she's really confident. Now she's right.
Lots of opinions. Yeah.
Lots of opinions. Yeah. Message boards. Like I started when message boards came out, so it wasn't there wasn't any Twitter or anything yet, but it was these message boards that used to spring up like the next day. And also I started around 2001 TiVo. Remember TiVo? TiVo came into play, so it was like, ooh, I could fast forward SNL for the first time. Like that was
what a gift.
What a gift.
What $1 million idea.
I'm not so sure that's a good thing, Amy.
No, I've talked to TiVo.
We'd rather have them to like watch the show as opposed to.
I mean, I'll go for a pause, but that's
you record it and then you never really watch it. Everyone has a Lorne. You might as well do your 10 seconds of Lorne, because you have to have a Lorne.
Oh my God, I love it. My Lorne is not great, but yes, it's very.
No, there's no.
It's very. My Lorne is a little more paternal, which is like when he comes on the floor right before a sketch and goes like, "Do you like these wine glasses? Or these, does this table look right for you?" And you're just so nervous. You're about to do a sketch in a restaurant. You're like, "What? Are you happy with the wine glasses?" Okay.
You're like, you mean on the table in the sketch? Yeah. Yeah. They're like 5, 4.
Yes.
Yeah.
My first season, I don't know if he did that later. It was a glass of Chardonnay, and he would be outside, because then he went under the bleachers. Well, that was for the dress show mostly, but during the live show, you're so fucking terrified. And Lawrence went around with a glass of wine, acting so like there's not a live TV show going on. It was just amazing to watch him try to, by osmosis, calm us down, I guess,
Well, it's really... Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I was saying I'm waiting to get pushed out on Update in that chair. I'm in the dark, and he's like, "Do you know who's winning the Yankees?" I'm like, "Right now? I don't know. I have to look at the cards."
It's a mind trick, the non sequitur, to distract you from the chair turns and there's 10 million people watching you. Go ahead, Amy. Thoughts?
No, I was gonna say, when you guys talk about your experiences at the show too on this podcast, it kind of feels like the before times, because my first show was 2 weeks after 9/11. So for like the first 3 years or so at the show, the Chardonnay was gone. It was very much like serious business to keep comedy afloat. It was very like, will we ever laugh again? And how can we do comedy? And, New York is under attack. And it was all this like, how do we make fun of politics? Like, it was just this like slow build back to get to Palin and Hillary by the end of that run. But it took so long to even, so I can just remember starting that job and being like, my dream job. I was 30 years old. I was like, here we go. And then, then all that happened, and it was like, will we ever laugh again? That was basically the headline.
Yeah, it's
and
true.
It was like, could we though, just a little bit? Cause I'm here now.
Yeah.
It was intense.
Yeah. I've been dreaming and working toward this for my whole life. Could I do something funny?
How could you do such a stupid sketch when what's going on in the world? And you're like, oh, well, this is the idea, is to get away from
But it went on, to your point, it went on for a long time of the idea, when will the next attack come and where really are we? It wasn't, so there was a really anxious period. I don't know when it finally we kind of, I guess 2004.
It felt like 2003, 2004, but don't forget, there was like anthrax in the building when we were there. It was like, it was wild. But I think it felt around 2000. I had 1 year of overlap with Will Ferrell, and he did a sketch. I guess it must have been 2001, 2002, like about a guy who was really patriotic, and he was wearing like, like
in the hot tub.
He was he was wearing a Speedo.
He's going to work, I think, Dana. I think it was Matt Piedmont might have wrote.
Yeah, I think you're right.
And he's very patriotic. Yeah, that was a big one.
It's very Will, the way he wore the Speedo, the way he splayed his legs. I mean, he is, he's brave, or whatever you want to call it. He's just out there. But so that was really broke the seal a little bit.
Yeah. And he had, we had stopped doing any Bush stuff. We didn't do any politics during that time.
Interesting.
But that was like a big, silly, stupid, guy in a Speedo sketch. And the audience really loved it. And you're like, okay, maybe this is going to be okay. But we did a bunch of dumb pop culture stuff because, it was like Britney Spears' snake trainer was like a character I was trying to get on because no one wanted to talk about news, politics. So it was weird, but you
kind of appreciate the big, silly ones more even later on. Big, dumb, whatever word you want to apply to them. Broad, really just balls out funny, where you get you want to get that I Love Lucy kind of roll of a laugh. If I got it with the dog on, it wasn't me. It was that sketch, Massive Head Moon Harry, just unleashed a whole I Love Lucy type of laughter, because I was fighting with a dog over a fake head,
fake brains.
But it seems like, just as an overview here for a second, you came on the scene, and then by the time you left, you were just as good as anyone had ever done that show. I mean, I believe, and I say this to people with all sincerity, I mean, like the thing you did with Maya, the Long Island ladies, you were both brilliant, and you were just so in the pocket of that character rhythmically. Like, I watched the immersion of that. It was just beautiful to watch that sketch. I mean,
oh, thanks, Dana. That means a lot. That sketch, that felt like we could have only done it when we were like seniors. Like we were relaxed enough to do it. We wrote that with Emily Spivey, the great Emily Spivey.
Yeah, we hear about her a lot.
Yeah, you should have her on this. She would be an incredible guest. And yeah, we improvised a lot of that. Like it was just a lot of overlappy. The cards were kind of loose and we kind of knew what we were going to say, but not really. And I don't think we would have been able to do that in the first couple of years. I know I wouldn't have. I would have been too results oriented.
Yeah, that's what I mean. That I find that a lot. There's maybe Eddie Murphy, the most extreme the other way, like is confident in day one, apparently. And then there's people who have a pretty quick run up, but then some people just goes and goes, and then the audience discovers you. And then it's, could you, I mean, I don't, but you don't have to do that character for 5 seconds, but if you, what would she say to David and I right now? I mean,
well, like she's, it's a very important time because it's sweater weather, like sweater weather's coming. It's very, very, she's having a lot of hot flashes and she enjoys the nip in the air. But we based those two ladies, those ladies off of ladies that were in really one woman who was in the hair department, Jody Mancuso, who was running the hair department. She was like, Long Island, or Staten Island. I forget. Sorry, Jody, if I forget. And she was very and gave it to you straight and just come sit, talk, let's talk. Like she just had this chatty, fun energy that was kind of flirty, very maternal. And Maya and I used to just talk with her like that and talk like her. And mine was my lady had a little bit, just because I'm not particularly great with accents. My lady probably fell into a little Boston at times, just because that's my hometown. But so we played Betty and Jody, and they were just, it was almost like those women that happen to have a TV show, but they were just chatting anyway. So we had a lot of fun where the camera would just come up on us and we were already in conversation and the camera would pull away and we were still talking. So that was the kind of vibe.
It was being a wasp from California, and then when I started going to New York and meeting characters in New York, and they were recognizable in that sense of come, sit, have coffee, please, how are you? It's it's warm, it's extroverted, everything is out in the open. I feel spilkus, this and that, but you guys just nailed it beautifully. I don't know, it just
I just saw it on Instagram, Amy. How they pull up old sketches, they start traveling around because it is sweater weather. So I saw clips of that, and it's kind of fun when things live on or they make a meme or something pops out.
Oh, it's the best. It's so cool.
And then you go, oh, something mattered. Something I did in the old days caught somewhere,
Totally.
People ask me this sometimes, what kind of compliments do you like to get? And I always say specific ones. I like that line and that thing. And so when you're out and about in the world, just what do people come up and say to you? Maybe they talk about some of your movies or certain sketches, or
it's funny, you can kind of tell the millennials love Parks and Rec, that was their show. And that's a show that a lot of teenagers discovered during the pandemic. So there's a lot of millennial and Gen Z love for Parks and Rec. The Gen Xers and above know me more from SNL. Or more movie or hosting stuff.
Golden Globes.
Yeah, they kind of know that more, I think. But or maybe they saw Mean Girls 25 years ago or something. But but it kind of feels like I get a lot of nice women. That's my demo is nice. Tina and I are on tour right now, and we're having a blast. And it's just the nicest women in the audience. Just coming with their friends or their daughters, so I get a lot of just friendly women. So I'm lucky that I don't get, occasionally, and I get mistaken all the time for other women, whether it's Tina or Dratch or they kind of mush us all together, which is fine with me.
Really?
But that happens sometimes too, but it's okay.
Well, my wife is not a comedy fanatic or anything, but I told her that you and Tina were doing a show. And she goes, oh, I would see that show.
Yeah.
Exactly.
We're doing that show for your wife.
So, I think that, she's a nice woman. I go back to that. But so
she's a nice woman.
It's, the Golden Globes kind of cemented it. We saw you do an update, there's Tina, and you guys have this connection. I assume really, truly, really good friends, and have the chemistry of Steve Martin and Martin Short. And so seeing that is well, this is going to be fun. Because when I think of you too, even though you did satirical jokes on Golden Globes, it was still always fun.
Yeah.
I think that's a good brand to have. You're going to have fun. It's underrated.
I think you're right. I think I don't know. I'm in no way an expert in hosting things, but one thing I did learn really quick was from SNL too. Like if you don't look like you're relaxed or having fun, the audience gets very stressed.
Yeah, they're worried about it.
When I see hosts and they're either nervous or stressed or even like coming in angry, like I don't know why I'm here, like that kind of thing. It's like, oh no, I get so stressed because you are hosting a party. You're supposed to look like you're having fun. Like it's a party. Like who cares? It's an award show. Who cares?
You, Maya. Was it you, Maya, and Tina? Was that at the Academy Awards?
We didn't host it. We just like opened it because I think
that was a good trick of like less pressure. They're not the host, but you're on longer than you should be, and you're just joke machine. And then everyone's like, fuck, where are these? Why aren't they here the whole time? It's so great.
Yeah.
You don't have a months of lead up. Like, what are you going to do? What's so funny?
Because, those hosting gigs are a lot of work. Mm-hmm. They're hard. There are a lot of jokes to write and get through. And then also now they like are kind of, you can fall into traps and people can get mad.
Yeah.
And so you're like, oh my God, forget it then.
Someone always has a problem with it no matter what.
I know, it's okay. It's like when Billy Bob Thornton got his Emmy, I think he goes, I'm not going to say anything because you can get in trouble. I'm substituting Bill Clinton as Billy Bob Thornton. I apologize. I'm not going to say anything because you can get in trouble for saying something these days. So he just walked off, But to the fun part, you might find this funny in a way because John Lovitz, I was the one who kept saying, John, you got to do stand-up. So I was I'm no expert, but I'm coaching him a little bit. I go, John, the one thing you always have to remember right before you go out, because you can forget, just say to yourself, have fun. And he goes, I did it. I tried it. And then I started having more fun. And then I was getting bigger laughs, John.
Yeah.
So it's an amazing thing. But sometimes you go, what is going on? I'm not having fun. Well, I forgot to have fun.
It's the hardest. I think it's actually like the last piece. It's the hardest piece to learn because you're pushing or you're nervous or your head's somewhere else. And then and then when you actually relax, the audience just relaxes with you. I mean, I learned a lot from Will Ferrell that way. And because I would watch him perform and he had this like mischievous quality where him and the audience were in on it together. It was kind of like this bemused quality of like, can you believe we're all here doing this stupid thing? And it would, it just like the minute they see you sweat, it gets so stressed for you.
They tighten up.
This goes to therapy or something, but try not to try not to push, try not to be desperate, try not to rush it. Take your time, but be in the pocket. And of course, when that voice goes silent, then you and Tina are just on a roll.
Well, what do you guys do when this rarely probably happens for you anymore, but like, let's say you're trying new material and it's not working. What do you do? Do you pull back? Do you pull back in that moment or do you push? Because I'll tell you that what I have to work on is pulling back too hard and like getting sleepy.
Your joke isn't working and you go to sleep?
I go to sleep. I go right to sleep.
You recoil. It's funny when something doesn't work, I had it happen on the road recently where the whole show is going well and one joke doesn't click and I had to stop and go, literally no one bought that. Not one person. And it wasn't a couple of you. Everyone said no sale. And I feel like you're wrong on this one.
Ooh,
and I give you one freebie.
Yeah.
And then they don't know what to make of that. They're like, what? Well, you're mad at us? But it's like joke mad. But when something doesn't work in a regular set or if you're doing a set on TV, what happens to me is you get spooked like a horse because my brain goes, what happened? And I can't think of my next joke because it's preoccupied with what do I do? Why? Wait, should I even do the next one? What did I say it wrong? Then you're like, that throws you. If you take one extra second, they think something's up. It's got to be just so smooth like a play. Boom, boom, boom.
I know. I have a bit in my act. I won't even say the bit, but whatever. It's sort of like 2/3 the way, like you're trying to bring it to the barn, and the last 2 times it's not landing. And I know Jerry Seinfeld, who's this Svengali about this, check the setup,
Yeah.
If the setup is, God, but I did this for Steve Martin. Jerry's going to do a live album on vinyl, and you're going to see a picture of him on the cover, and it's called Paper Clips. Why? Just like that joke. Jerry, we love him. He's brilliant. But I think sometimes when you first say it in a joke and you're kind of connected to it or a bit, and then you can get a little bored and you maybe drop just even part of the setup or stuff like that. Because are you actually out there solo in your show with Tina as well?
Yeah, we do some sketch, we do stand-up, we do
do you do update?
Stuff together, we do update, we do,
Really?
We do
Oh, great.
Mm-hmm.
So what's your first line? Ladies and gentlemen, here to do some stand-up for our show is Amy Poehler.
No way.
No
I'm not doing.
way.
Are you out of your mind?
You're out of your mind.
Not doing.
I thought your first line would be you'd say what's up, and then the name of the town. What's up, Chicago?
Hey, what's up, Denver?
Yeah, that's a good first line.
Here's my opener. I'd go like this. Hey guys, Tina will be out in a minute. Just because.
Oh my God, it's funny that you say that. I'm like, I'm going to do a little stand up while Tina gets her IV drip.
There you go.
Well, I think Dana and I were talking before we brought you on because we're both on the road here and there. And there's so many things about the road that are so tricky and dicey that, it is true something about like the show is the fun part, obviously. And it's so hard just to get to their city. You just want to get high five. Like, I got here. I'm in the theater.
Get in the hotel.
And I feel like shit, but here I go. Let's do this. Because you almost never feel great. And you're almost never like, well, that was easy. It's like, this is problem. And then the hotel and getting there and what's backstage. There's so many interesting questions we were thinking of with you guys. When do you go on?
Oh, I know. It's so fun because you're right. Every different theater and space has like a vibe, and it has like the guy that's in charge, like the one that
character.
Yeah, there's always the character. It's like, oh, I can't answer that. You have to talk to Dan about that. And you're like, okay, where's Dan? Like it's always Dan's always around, and Dan doesn't come in. Dan zooms in from home.
My guy's usually named Dan as well. I don't know if he travels a lot.
Do you do a sound check?
We do.
You have to have a lot of you have stuff going on.
Because you got a montage of greatest hits or whatever, and you've got whatever. You have a piano player and stuff like that, or
no? We have some recorded music stuff, but we don't have a live.
And you sing together,
live piano player. But it's what's that?
Do you sing a song together?
Maybe.
You have a good voice, Dana. Have you heard her sing in the beginning of the podcast?
Tonight, before I go to sleep, I'm going to try to figure out what can't Amy Poehler do. What do you do to relax your giant brain?
Well, I really like the water, like that calms me down a lot. I like swimming and
in a
going
pool,
in the
ocean,
water.
lake.
Ocean, lake, and swimming. I like a lot.
Can you swim?
No, I can't. No, I'm kidding.
But I mean, I go to a hotel pool and I go freestyle and I go the length of the pool and I'm completely wiped out. And I'm like sprinting, but I don't know it. And there is a whole technique to it, but you've learned it, right? How to actually.
I think if I need to get regulated, my nervous system, water does help me, whether even if it's a bath or just like getting in some water. But before a show, I'm kind of used to. It's funny when I would do shows as an improviser and like sketch comedian with stand-ups, I was always surprised that there wasn't a lot of chit chat. Stand-ups were just kind of trying, like walking around, talking or with their headphones, like thinking about their set and really, and frankly, trying to remember it, which is half the battle.
Very true.
And with improv and sketch, it's like you want to just like keep doing bits up until you go on stage. It's like you want to just like make a connection with the people you're performing with. And so I kind of tend to like want to just chit chat and talk and not overthink things. but now that I'm older, like sometimes I just want to like do some like light stretching, just some light stretching,
For
so I don't
sure.
pull a hammy.
Oh, definitely. You can't go, hi, and then your arms like, oh, sorry. You know, I mean, I try to do a wide squat and make sure, because I might get in that position, or move around, stretch your calves. Yeah. Have you ever had a physical thing or cut yourself on stage?
Oh my God, yes. I'm just getting over this thing. I talk about it on stage. I'm just getting over this thing, which is, it's just so embarrassing. It sounds like a bad cocktail, but I had this thing this year called frozen shoulder.
Know all about it? Yes.
I bet your wife, was it your wife that went through it?
No, it was our mutual manager, I think.
Okay.
Oh.
Had a frozen shoulder. Yeah.
Yeah. It feels.
What does it do?
It's the weirdest thing. It comes out of nowhere. And it's like, anecdotally, I find it's mostly women of my age, but it's just like inflammation. And suddenly you just like can't lift your arm all the way up.
Okay.
And so it just feels like you just feel really fucking old. You just are like, oh, fucking hell, what is this? And it'll take about a year. And you're just like, what? A year? And it's proven to be about a year. So
yeah,
it sucked. And
they're just making up names for old things. Frozen shoulder sounds good. And you're like, well, is it a real thing, or I'm just falling apart?
It's a real thing.
I was doing a podcast with David. I never even said this before. We've done a few live, and then I think it was my left foot, my toes splayed out in a spasm, and I was in massive pain, but I just was riding it out. We're interviewing someone.
Spade, take it.
And I'm like, and it doesn't happen to me all the time. The toes went out and got really angry. As soon as it was over, I just walked around. It was fine. But we're supposed to do all this freaking stuff all day long, pulling and stretching and Pilates, all this stuff to keep us together. So
I did. And I know. And I was so much younger when I was on SNL. And I think about how much I just partied and just walked. Like I didn't worry about any of it.
None.
I just wasn't even thinking about any of it.
No.
I wasn't thinking about collagen. I wasn't thinking about
water, nothing.
Nope, wasn't even thinking about water.
Did we know how? Did we? I know. I look. You see pictures of yourself because you're in show business. You go, damn. Did I know how cute I was?
Yeah,
I know.
Did we know how young we were? Or is it all wasted on young? Who said that? Cole Porter? I don't know.
I didn't have a glass of water during SNL. I was there 6 years.
You never
that
had
just
one
wasn't the thing that everyone. I didn't know what carbs were. I ate fucking pasta every day. Wally and Joseph's. I ate pizza, and I always felt shitty. I never put anything together. I'm like, what is it? What is it? I don't have the Rubik's cube to figure this out. All I eat is carbs, no water, and Diet Coke. And my body is so sore, Amy. Every day, it's like my shoulders going. I open a car door, they're like, what? I'm like, I do this every day. And it's like, oh, what are you doing? Like it forgets overnight I'm doing basic things.
I know. Well, you know what has helped me with this? And I know this is probably like people listening are like, oh my God, be quiet.
How old are you guys?
Yeah. But you know what I've been doing is I've been doing cold dips. And they've changed the game. Yes. I do cold dips and it changed the game.
Because that's a big deal. Now, do you do it in a bathtub with ice in it? Or is it in a pool or a lake, or where are you getting?
I have a cold dip tub.
Okay, a cold dip tub. Yeah. Okay,
like a tub that I keep cold. So, and I have a sauna, little hut sauna. So I do 15 minutes of the sauna, and then I plunge in the cold dip, and it helps a lot, David. With
inflammation.
Yes.
I think you and Tina should do 10 minutes in a cold plunge doing update on stage. Just bring out the ice.
I would love that. I think our endorphins would be flying.
Sponsors. Yeah.
I'm in an undisclosed location, but I have a pool for the first time in a long time and don't heat it. I like it as cold as I can get it now for that very reason.
Wake up.
It's amazing if you get into a cold lake, because I always look at it as a lake that's really too warm. How you really suffer for about 10 seconds. But if you're moving, all of a sudden you're like, it's fine.
Yeah, that's the thing about getting older is like forced austerities. Like, what can I do to myself that a doctor is not telling me to do, but that I can do to torture myself? Like, I have the privilege of cold dipping, or like, I only eat apples after 5 p.m. And it's like, why? It's like, just that's what I'm doing now. Like, that's
It just
that's
sounds,
trying.
it's gotta be good. I know.
I'm trying something.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, it's always nice. You get a blood test and stuff, and you're wondering, well, did they find something? The doctor's talking to you, and like, it's fine, it's good, everything's okay. So
My guy looks at my blood test. I sit there and he goes, Then he goes like this. Don't love that.
you know the worst thing about you hear from a doctor is I went to a dentist because I had a tooth thing. This is what we're going to talk about the rest of the podcast.
It's so tragic.
And the guy comes in and he actually said, "Wow," when he looked at my mouth. He said, "Wow." I said, "Wow." What do you mean, wow? Wow, what?
Wow.
Wow, what, motherfucker?
Wow.
He said it he said it like walking.
He said it like walking. Wow.
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 Yeah, 3
Amy,
vowels.
Amy,
Whoa.
I just said someone, were you in a walking family? I never saw that. I said to my friend, I go, look at this ridiculous.
Oh, you all were walking in the sketch, right?
Yes, and that was so fun because I think I benefited from low expectations. I don't think anyone expected me to pull out a good walk-in, but I was playing a little kid, like a little girl who was doing a walk-in, and I had a friend who had told me a story about Christopher Walken, and that he was on set one time and he was like, are there any ghosts here? Like, this place is spooky. He kept saying it's spooky, which was such a funny word to say. So I got to say ghosts and spooky, and that was enough.
Did he care at all?
He was one of the most interesting hosts, because he's a really no surprise, eccentric dude. So he was really comfortable with silence. So, most people, when you're just waiting around to run the scene again, you're just sitting on the floor, like you chit chat, like, but he would want to just sit quietly between each, so he might have been the longest I've ever gone seated next to someone and not talking, like 5, 6, 7 minutes. It would just be me and him and we wouldn't talk. And it became like a contest in my own mind to see how long we could go. And he was fine with it. He was fine with it.
Get everyone shut up.
Yeah. He was super, super talented and
God
very,
damn,
very.
I swear he's so interesting. He's riveting.
The first sketch, I don't know what it was. Maybe a church chat or something. Anyway, we did it all. We rehearsed it, but on air, he never looked at me. He just looked straight at the cue cards and read it, and it worked.
Yeah,
and it was funnier, So I
heard a rumor that he takes out. I don't know if this is true, but that he takes out all the punctuation in his scripts.
Wouldn't surprise me because his rhythm is so specific that might get him out of his rhythm. Don't like to pause in ways like that. I mean, John Lovitz again, my friend John. He's the kind of guy who goes, "Is it you? Are you making up that dialect? Is that the way you really talk?" And he said, Walken just started laughing. "You're making it up, right?"
Oh, that's funny.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah, he seemed like he had a good sense of humor about himself.
Yeah, and who knows? There's certain actors who just extenuate their rhythms as they become film stars over the years, like Al Pacino, when he feels like it. And Walken too. He was in that Woody Allen movie as the psycho driver. It was in the 70s. Yeah. First time I saw him.
Yeah.
And
he goes, sometimes I like to turn the car. I think of turning into the headlights.
Yeah.
And he goes, well, I wouldn't on this trip. Yeah. Maybe put a pin in that. And we'll, it's like a crazy.
No, just as soon as you drop me off, you can indulge your picadillos if you want to go into and get some rhubarb and grind. But yeah, he's just one of the thrills of doing Saturday Night Live is just doing sketch comedy with someone like Christopher Walken.
And seeing him in The Deer Hunter. It just feel like, growing up in the 70s, like I just saw every movie way too young. I saw so many violent images.
You saw that at what? Oh,
I can't even imagine. I think I was 7, maybe.
Oh my God.
And it was like, I learned about, I learned about Vietnam. I learned about prisoners of war. I learned about, Russian roulette. I learned it all from Christopher Walken, and it was like, and then I went to first grade. Like
I'm headed to first grade, guys. I'm tired. I was at the Deer Hunter last night.
That they were getting slapped in the face in Vietnam.
Now I'm going to The Exorcist.
And they're forced to play Russian roulette, and they would slap them and say, Mao! And slap them.
Yes.
And I don't know what that word meant in Vietnamese, but it's one of the most riveting, darkest scenes in film history. I'm trying to think. I saw The Reefers with Steve McQueen when I was 11. I saw Bonnie and Clyde when I was like 11.
Well, it's a little tamer.
A little tamer, but there was a sex scene. It was a little, but yeah, you've seen those 70s badass movies as a little girl.
I was the generation that got like HBO and MTV like in our house, and no one was paying attention. So suddenly there are movies on that I should not have been watching.
It's just that, no one knows. Just the next movie on, and everyone's gone. You're like, oh, what's this? Oh, The Omen.
Yep, The Omen. Let's see what this is about.
Oh, this might be fun.
Hopefully, I hope you both didn't see this movie because it stayed with me and disturbed me very much. And I think it's Dustin Hoffman. I know it's Dustin Hoffman. It's The First Straw Dogs. Look it up, kids. I don't even want to talk about it.
Fucking love it. Sent me that the other day. Is that crazy? He sent me a preview. Watch this movie.
Straw Dogs with Dustin Hoffman?
Yes.
Oh,
is that weird?
But it is dark. Yeah.
Well, I was just watching Midnight Cowboy the other day. They had a showing of it in New York, and I was like, oh, I love Midnight Cowboy. I love Dustin Hoffman in that, and I love John Voight. And then I'm like, oh my God, I forgot this giant, horrible, assault scene. There's so many, there's so much assault in that movie, like flashbacks of what happens to John Voight's character and his girlfriend. And I just I forget with 70s movies, you just be cruising along and then there'd be like a really violent scene that you're just, oh no. And when now I'm the mother of teenagers and I'm like, oh, you should watch this movie. And then there's just this scene that's always, oh, I forgot this scene was in this movie. It's brutal.
I got scared at Tommy, Dana. I was young and my brother took me.
Oh,
and the gypsy acid queen. And then she threw like acid in the guy's face. So there's fire at the beginning and it burned his face. And I was like, and I go, I have a stomachache. And I went to the lobby and then I never came back because I got scared. They go, what's up? I go, no, I'm fine. I just have some stuff to do out here. Literally nothing to do.
What's the first? Have you showed a movie to your kids where it blew their mind and it was kind of satisfying? Because at one point, I don't remember how old they were. This is my example. I put on Jaws for them. And maybe they were sort of 12, 14, whatever. Okay, see you later, kids. So I come back 10 minutes later and they're not moving. They're not they're just staring.
Whoa.
They just hit them at the right, like, oh man, this is amazing. So that was
I have 2 boys. They really like a lot of sci-fi, action adventure stuff. But I remember when they were really young, Willy Wonka was the first one that I was like, I think you're going to love this. And they loved it. And I felt really, and as far as comedy, like what you don't love what your mom likes. Like your mom is lame. Like you don't want to like what your mom likes. But so I almost had to let them discover SNL on their own. And they're at the age now, they're 13 and 15, where they're at that age where they're like, I wonder what SNL is going to do about this. Like, that's what, and, definitely their favorite anchors are Jost and Che. And
of course,
and they just don't want to watch. They barely want to watch stuff I'm in. It's like, it's embarrassing. Like it's their mom. Like,
right.
Who wants to watch their mom on TV?
Have you recommended comedies that they give the thumbs down, like that you grew up with?
Oh yeah. There's been so many things where I'm like, that's funny. Now you should watch that. That's funny.
Oh, that's funny. Mom, you got to check this out. This is really funny, Mom.
Yeah. And I'm always like, turn that off. That guy is, but I remember The Simpsons was a first crossover where we could all watch it, and they were kind of learning how to structure a joke, and I was laughing too. But yeah, it's always that group on SNL, for example, when you're 12 or 13, and not to make you feel old, Dana, but that was you for me, which was
me too.
I don't.
Yeah,
I feel terrific. I'm the youngest I've ever been at this particular age.
Your toes are not spasming at all. Everything is fine.
No, nothing is spasm during. And if they were spasming, I would cover for it. I would just get kind of quiet on the Zoom.
He'd go like this,
slunk down a little bit. I'd be
and like, in the frame, come like this.
And Amy would go to herself, is he spasming right now?
Yeah.
Is he? No, I feel good. I do a lot of countermeasures for aging. I hydrate a lot.
Oh, congrats.
Dana, sometimes I think, because we all write, and we all write comedy and write this and whatever. And sometimes, not just obviously comedies, but I'll watch a show and I'll be like, this is so fucking complicated. I am not even in the same genre. I'm not a writer, because the fact they have so many levels to these things. And I go, what is this dog shit I write? Why am I called a writer? This is ridiculous. I shouldn't even be in the guild.
Well, we just do bite-sized, silly stuff.
I know, it's goofy.
We don't. Comedians don't really get awards. They generally don't win Oscars, and we have the American Comedy Awards anymore. Or
but you know what? You guys will be the right people to talk to about this. What irritates me so much, though, is that once a year at least, there's like someone that we would all consider genuinely funny, who gives a performance that's really good, good acting performance. And people are always like, wow. And I'm like, I think acting and comedy are so combined. They're so close, like one must be a good actor to sell a bit, tell a joke, I'm always surprised that people are surprised that funny people can be good actors. So rarely are good actors funny, but funny people are often very good actors. And I always think it's just, I don't think funny people.
It's such a rare commodity, but if comedy was outlawed, I would love to do drama or do kind of realistic acting, but this is what I do best, I guess. It's just a rare thing.
And good comedy performances don't really get the old Oscars and stuff. You see like somebody good, not saying us, just saying other people that are great at it and they do a great performance. It's not even considered.
No, it's crazy.
There's a reason they say, well, who said this? Dying is easy, comedy is hard. I know that was like from the vaudeville or something.
It was tough.
That's why I'm jealous of musicians, because when musicians have to play an event, they just get up there and they play their song. Like they play the song everybody wants that they play the same song over and over again that everybody wants them to play. And when you're going up there trying to do something funny, people are like, give us something new. We don't want to hear your usual stuff.
Yeah. I'm like, how about this? It's old.
You can't repeat your bits, and then you have to create rapport. And it sucks. I always want to plug in a guitar, and oh my God.
After every line, you're judged. If they don't laugh, even people that aren't listening are like, I guess it's not going well. But with musicians, here it is, applause. Here's the next one, applause. But there's no like, I guess we did good.
Do they yell out for you? Or do you yell out for you, David? Or do they yell out your hits? Or they
yell stuff. I get sort of sometimes a rowdier crowd. Tina, Amy? Dana and I have done corporates. Have you and Tina ever done a corporate?
Oh yeah, I used to do. Yes.
And
really?
I mean, I used to do a lot of. We used to do a lot of corporate stuff for Second City back in the day, like and this was before anyone knew our names. But we would have to go. We would get paid, to do jokes about, old John Miller. Yeah. Vice President John Miller. Like he's got crazy hair and he loves wearing kooky ties, and everyone would be like, that's me. I'm John Miller. And you just have to do all these like specific jokes.
It's so hard.
It's so hard.
I work with him. That's true.
It's so him. You're doing it.
He's got 3 balls and beats his wife. Say something about it. I go, in my act, I don't know what to say. And then one guy laughs in the back. Yeah. And then everyone else is like, was that true? What? It's one guy sets you up.
Yeah, and the meet and greet, I'm sure you've had this, but I don't know if it's like alpha male stuff, but I'm this little guy and I'm sort of the star of the show. But in the meet and greet, I had these guys just really kind of fucking wailing on my hand. I mean,
Ooh.
and maybe they've had a couple
They
cocktails.
show off.
I'm like, I had at one point, then I got tennis elbows, more ailments. So I had to do the fist bump or I had to kind of wave. And they're like, I want to put my mitts and twine with your mitt and squeeze, you know.
And I'll show you who's boss. I'm like, you're boss. We don't even have to do this.
Yeah, you win, boss.
I go, I have frozen hand, and Dana has frozen elbow. And Amy has frozen shoulder.
But at least my screen hasn't frozen. So
Yeah, you
Amy,
can't shake it.
so you're going to therapy and stuff. I mean, first of all, just career-wise, I mean, do you have any are you going to try to do a dramatic film, or you're directing? You directed Wine Country. You're writing. You're producing shit. I mean, what doesn't she do? Whoops.
Yeah.
Don't be
You have
scared.
new glasses.
Don't run away from it.
She doesn't pay her taxes. No,
You just do a lot. You do a lot.
Yeah, I have this production company called Paper Kite. So we produce a lot of TV and film. I like doing a lot of different things. That's why, and trying to stay, trying to stay doing a lot of different things. Because I find this business is very, the strike is a perfect example of it. Like, it's really fickle. It's really, you have to stay, you have to know how to pivot. So like, I like acting and stuff and writing stuff and directing stuff. And so I try to kind of do, whatever is the next thing I try to do is different from what I just did. But I've been more into writing and directing than performing lately. And the tour has been really fun because it's gotten me back into being excited. And this podcast has been fun because it's just get to play like a character, but actually doing TV or doing movies, like, it's so hard. It's so much time, so hard being on set. It's just takes up, as you guys know, it just takes up your life.
Movies are the hardest. They're such a chunk. Beginning, middle, end of your day.
And, I feel so lucky, like, I had such a show that I loved that I couldn't imagine going to do something else right away. And then, suddenly I'm looking at whatever it is, like 6-7 years later. But so, yeah, I'm just kind of doing whatever feels right to do next. And I'm so lucky, like, you brought up Wine Country. I have such a group of ladies. It's kind of like you guys with grownups. Like, it's just like, I want to just keep doing stuff with the women I love. And they're so funny and they're so much fun. I mean, there's no better joy than doing stuff with your friends. Like, that's success.
And who was it? I like that. I love this phrase. It's been used a few times in this podcast. A murderer's row is such a funny, but it was a murderer's row on Wine Country. Obviously Maya, Rachel, Anna.
Yes, we had a murderer's row in that movie. Paula Pell, Emily Spivey, Anna Gasteyer, Rachel Dratch, Tina Fey, Maya Rudolph. But then when I was at SNL, I was lucky. I was in this group of Will Forte, Fred Armisen, Bill Hader, Andy Samberg, Seth Meyers, like Kristen Wiig. That all happened in my years too. Kenan Thompson. Like, it was just, so they were so talented. People were so good and talented. And when I look at those cast photos of who I got, and also the beginnings and endings of my time there, my endings, it was like, Will Ferrell, Chris Parnell, and that was beginnings. And then when I was leaving, Kate McKinnon was coming in, and like all these people were coming in so that's the cool thing is if you're lucky, you get some overlap with people that you just love. Yeah. And that's the best.
I had 1 year with Will. I got to watch him. One last question from me, and then Dana, whatever he wants. But you did Hillary, and then was it Kate did it after you?
Yes. Yeah. And I think Anna Gasteyer did it before me. Maybe did Hillary before me. Mm-hmm. Yeah. There was a bunch of them. And I did it when Downey was writing a lot of them. And then
yeah.
And then we did when Palin, that was like, first she was running against Barack, for to win the thingy there. And then Barack won the thingy. What you call it? Nomination.
Nomination.
Yeah. Well, first he won the nomination, right? Mm-hmm. He beat Hillary, and then Palin showed up. So it was so fun to be able to do those two characters together, because you don't get a lot of like female politicians getting to even do scenes together half the time.
Yeah.
So that was super, super fun to do. And it felt like everybody was paying attention to that election. It was very, I played Dennis Kucinich one time, and everyone was like,
Look him up if you don't know who he is. Yeah. Dennis Kucinich. Well, then it became a lot, which we asked Keenan this question, and I've referred to it a couple of times, about great casts or great cast members, and he just said the MVP basically is the women of since the late 90s, and we have Jan Hooks and Nora Dunn, our generation. But there's been so many dominant women, and even in later years now, the women play the male politicians. There's all the rules are so that's kind of cool. It's progress, I suppose, for women.
I mean, I was very, very lucky to be dropped into that show at a time when Tina was the head writer, and Molly and Sherry and Anna had just left. Like they had just done so much great work, and
kept going. Just kept going.
Yeah, I think that wasn't always the case. Everyone has their version of their experience there, and I think there were stretches when women did not feel heard, supported, encouraged, and I'm sure there still are places and stretches now where everyone has a completely different experience about their time there. But I felt like I lucked out in that there were these just killers that were there crushing, that I felt I was part of that group, and I felt very lifted up by them. So I was very lucky.
It feels like it's been wiped out. If there was ever, some dude in the 70s, women aren't funny, not Lauren, but somebody, women aren't as funny as men. Why after Lucille Ball and others, they would say that, Carol Burnett. But it seems now it's like, to me anyway, being a baby boomer, it's obliterated. This is a funny person. I don't think I'm watching a woman. I just go, they're funny. They're funny. So I guess I'm calling it progress a little bit, at least. For me.
I would even say, to expand it less about gender, like I find the more talented you are, the less unless you're not that insecure. Like the funniest people I know love other funny people. That's what they love. They get drawn to other people's work, regardless of
100%.
race, gender. Yeah, they don't care. But if it's people that have their own stuff they're working out, and here we are back to therapy. Dr. Sheila would be able to get these people in and talk and say, I know you don't laugh at this person, but really, what's the thing about yourself that you're not laughing at?
Not laughing at. What's part about you that isn't funny that you're mad at the women that are funny?
What are you mad about?
But I do think, kind of dovetailing back into the quasi-marine analogy or esprit de corps. But when you see somebody who makes you laugh, or me personally, who does this and knows how hard it is, or just some whimsical luck that something hits you and the rhythms are right and it works, and then watching other people do it, and then really in your own mind going, well, they're doing it, I think, better than me. It's like, and you kind of connect to them. And if you meet them socially, places, there's a frequency there or a shortcut. It's a great way of communicating. And sense of humor is a good thing if you can have it, in friends and relationships. It just cuts across. And anywhere I would be in the world, if a few comedians walked in, if it was any social awkward thing, even if I knew them or didn't know them, I would instantly be a lot more comfortable.
Yes.
Yeah, at parties I go up, even those big Oscar type, you just zoom right over to the comedian. Anybody in the comedy world sort of gravitates together, feel like your own little group.
Mm-hmm. Totally. Absolutely feel like you're part. I mean, I really mean it. Like I feel honored to be in a group that you guys feel like you're in too. I mean, I feel like
I would zoom right to you and Tina if I saw you out. I'd be like, guys, save me. What's going on?
I'm saving this for them, but I am a licensed therapist. It's a casual thing I got. And why do you feel that way about your peers, Amy?
Well, why do you feel the need to ask?
Yeah. Yeah.
Check.
Jesus,
mate.
She's been practicing.
My therapist helped me. The one thing she said was, she basically says, life is a shit show. Don't get involved in this idea that these people are living these dream lives on Instagram or whatever. It's all made up. To live is to suffer. and to embrace it. You're like, oh, cool. Okay. It's all right.
It's kind of like what we were talking about SNL. You have to kind of believe that no one's really thinking about you. Everyone's kind of thinking about themselves. And if you take the pressure off of yourself that everybody's thinking about you, then you can have a good time. But most people are just thinking about themselves. Life is hard and everyone's in their own head. It's
the entire audience. Yeah. No one.
And that we all know that we watch really successful people who kind of get what would be the platonic version of all the stuff everyone would want, and they're still just not happy. So
happy is an elusive kind of concept, because
it is,
going for content at this point.
If you're striving, because it's not another cliche. So is it about the shiny things and the money, or people talking to you at an airport? Ultimately, it is, landing the bit, right? I mean, for me anyway. Well, David's different. He's
coming up with ideas or something that makes me laugh is like one of the last joys of like, it's still something works in your brain. You're like, oh, this is,
that's going to kill
a code of a joke or an angle. And you go, fuck that. Little things like that really mean a lot.
Yes, agree. And hopefully we can still do it when we're like not able to stand up anymore.
Lift our shoulders.
We'll do sit down. Yeah. You guys will do sit down.
No matter what they say, if use it or lose it is a concept. I think the more you, I think trying to memorize your act, like say you have kind of a new act. I was shooting a special, and just the exhaustion of your brain, it must be some kind of workout to keep you articulate, or all things being equal, because you'll stay more fluid longer. And doing this, when we started reading ads, I was dyslexic or something. Remember, David, in the early days, I was like, I couldn't really read them. And now I've liquefied my ancient brain, and now I can
I heard Amy doing her ads, and I'm like, this is liquid IV. I go, I'm drinking one now. I go, this is similar, but it's
I have to say, it's fun to do podcast ads as a character, though, because you can.
I told Dana you do that,
Yeah, you can just say whatever stupid stuff you want.
If it helps you, this is the way I think about it. I just think of these small companies that are sponsors sometimes they're mom and pop and families. I go, they're trying to live the American dream. They're going all out. So now I'm like, with that attitude, I'm excited that they're supporting our show. I turned down every commercial, every gigantic, bring in the Brinks truck in the 90s, because we're supposed to be like Bob Dylan or something. We don't have a catalog to sell. That's the problem. You got to sell the catalog later. But anyway,
Dana, I'm going to sum up Amy with listen to this summary. Okay, Dana, and you can jump in.
He does this every time. He lands it. Go.
Okay.
Dr. Sheila podcast out now. And then she's got her head down listening very contently. She is also, it was very fun to talk to you because I don't see you a lot. It's this great time to just shoot the shit with someone that's funny. And Dana, you were fine. And also, we forgot you were in Baby Mama. We're not going to talk about that, but it's a great movie also.
Baby Mama.
And she was movie. And she's in Mean Girls along with memes of Mean Girls, which she's in.
Memes.
That everyone loves it. And Dana, wrap it up. You get half of this.
SNL All-Star, just a little milestone. The first all-girl update feature, all women, her and Tina.
All funny is what I call it.
She released, yes, please,
Thank you, David.
about her life. The Restless Leg tour. I don't think they need...
That's the tour. I forgot. Yeah, the tour is going to be big.
They don't need us to promote them. The tickets are going fast.
Yeah.
Whoops. Mean we can add another show?
But it's hard. It sounds easy to go, add another show. And then you go, but it's still tough.
Tough.
It's so fun. The audience knows. It's so fun to perform for the audience. Everything around it is a little tough. That's the only decision. It's like, shit, give me a good crowd. I love it. But
because what are you going to do? You're in your room for like 14 hours waiting for the show. Maybe go to a matinee if it's easy to get to a theater.
Walk out front and sign a bobblehead. They're like, sign this.
But we're not complaining to people listening.
No.
We understand. We're getting paid to
Dane
act
is
like
complaining.
idiots.
I love it.
We're getting money to act like idiots.
Thank you,
Totally.
Amy. Very nice of you to take the time. We love it. And,
we love talking to you. And the best part of this podcast. We just get to spend like a focused hour getting to know you in 20, whatever it is, 23. It's a very boring time in America. Nothing's going on. So it's good that we can figure out something to talk about.
Yeah.
But anyway, well, we'll see. This is what I use because someone did it to me. See you around campus as if show business is a high school or something.
Oh, that's cute. I love that.
Pass it along.
I love that. And that's better. Yeah, I love spending time with you guys. Thanks so much for asking me. I really have so enjoyed listening to everybody on this podcast. And so thanks for letting me be part of it.
We appreciate it. I'll see you in science class.
See you in science class.